have to be the way you say it is.
Well, it's gotta be that way with me. Because I only know one man. Not got a hot shot. Never gonna fail no other time.
The Bad Pachimari League has grown. It has become home to many from all walks of life, from all around the world. And now, to celebrate where we came from, to celebrate who we are, we have created a new tournament to see what the world has to offer. 12 teams from around the world, trialed and refined to their very best, will now face off against one another in a double elimination bracket. 2 strikes and you're out. It's a worldwide competition. And in a worldwide competition, the only thing you want to strike is gold. Welcome to the BPL World Cup.
Oh my god, it's a fire game impersonator with a pulse bomb!
But Sage is hot mustard, and all of a sudden this is anybody's fight. Drip Tippers are still in it. Massive pulse bomb from Sage! What is that? Sage clutching it up.
Sonic holding on to the barrage, gets 3! Sonic from behind with 3 with a huge barrage, taking a crazy off angle once again. There's a lot of ults, there's a lot of colors, but it doesn't matter because it's just going to be a massive high noon from Yancha.
But Signet hits another massive shatter. Oh my lord. He's so good. He's just so good.
A pretty big flux. The trance is there to keep the team alive. Oh, the bombs.
Oh my god!
Wings, they got some wind missiles as well. They got grab coming in. It will land perfectly and the windows fly through in terms of damage.
That's a 4K in that. Nitro have absolutely insane. Pomku with the 6K.
Welcome everybody to the Bad Pachimari League World Cup. I'm your host for the night, Jimmy Blanca, and I'm joined here by our casters for the next 2 games. It's Ageless and Newbeat. I was going to ask you guys, how have you been enjoying your stay here in BPL so far?
So far, so good. I've had a really good time. We've done 1 match so far, and I'm really looking forward to the 2 matches we got coming up today.
Yeah, we our first match we managed to catch Team Canada. So we were happy to catch that one as we are both Canadian and watch them move on to the finals.
Great. So yeah, maybe you're a good omen to these teams. We'll see here.
I guess
So, some people who are watching this might be wondering, why are we doing another World Cup? Because we just had one last weekend, like you mentioned, and Team Canada won it. That's because this week we're doing a special B-League edition of the World Cup. Last week you pretty much saw the best of the best the BPL community has to offer. You know, we had a lot of Type 500 players, a lot of GMs players, a lot of Master players. The big difference here is that this time we have a hard skill rating cap of 3,300, so around mid-diamond. So you're going to see a lot of diamond players here, platinum players here. We even have some gold and silver players, I believe. So it's going to be really cool. It's probably going to be a little bit more chaotic because of that, but I'm all for that. So it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to take a look here at our bracket to see how it's going to be this weekend. We pretty much have the same regions here with some changes. You might see here we only have 9 teams this weekend instead of 12. There's 3 reasons for that. First of all, APAC, they aren't fielding a B team this time, so they're missing from this tournament. EU is only combining 1 team this time. It's like EU and UK combined as Team Sunrise. You can see them down there. And the third reason for that is because Team Northeast and Nordic, they're combining forces to build this team whose name I can't pronounce. I don't know. Jen keeps coming up with these like weird names that I can't pronounce, so I'm not even gonna try. So as you can see, that's pretty much our bracket here. Now, one side effect, because we have an odd number of teams this weekend, is that we can't have we need like this one match here on the side to kind of determine which team goes on to the first round of matches here in the upper bracket. That's going to be the first game we cast here. It's going to be Burnz and the Bees versus Maize. The winner of that moves on to our actual first round, and they're going to fight, or they're going to play against Northern Grizzlies, which is Team Canada, later on today. The loser of that match actually goes to the lower bracket as well, so it's not going to be a single elimination like play-in kind of game. So it's treated like an upper bracket game. It's just an extra game for today.
Yeah, and Jimmy, you mentioned as well with the differences in SR, how it's going to be very chaotic with everybody with players from Diamond all the way down to Silver. You might see more team fights coming out that last longer, maybe not as hard resets in between fights. And I think chaotic is the perfect word to describe it.
For sure, yeah.
It's gonna be a good brawl.
So I did want to mention we do have a second stream running as usual, like last week, because we have a bunch of games to go through today. So if you want to check that out, I think it's BPL_2 if I'm not correct. If I'm not incorrect, let me see real quick. No, it's BPL_3 actually this time. So if you want to see those games, I think there's kind of a cursed cast happening there right now, so if you want to see that, go check that out. But for us here, it's going to be Burnz and the Bees, which is Team Atlantic, versus Maize, which is the B team for Midwest. This is honestly a really interesting game. This kind of has some interesting storylines, because both of these teams are representing regions that have not been able to get a game, or not been able to get a win last weekend. And neither of these teams have been able to get a map win last weekend as well. I was on one of these teams, so you know, didn't go so well. But that means that at least one of these regions is going to get their first win tonight. You guys have any favors or any ideas who might be favored here, or who might take it home?
Yeah,
I'm going to lean a little bit towards Maize, honestly, here. You had mentioned there was some people doing some off-rolling, as that is part of the rules, is if you are, meet the SR requirements on an off-roll, you are able to play. As much as, you know, the SR is an indicator of skill, I do think someone maybe in a higher SR may bring the communication and the game sense to a role that they may not be as mechanically gifted at, we'll say.
And Aegis, I think I'm going to go with the Burnz and the Bees, only because last week when we did Preds, you were right and I was wrong, so I need to go for the opposite team, so hopefully I can tie it back up.
Either way, so one of us is winning.
I love the name of Burnz and the Bees, mostly because I remember talking to Chicken Nugget God, who's their captain, or like one of their players, a couple of weeks ago, and he told me that they pretty much did not have any idea what to name their team, and because one of their players is called Burnz, you know, Burnz and the Bees. It's a great branding, a great logo, as you can see, very professionally done. I do want to point out one more thing. As you said already, we have a bunch of A-League players who are off-rolling on both of these teams. We got Azzy Jazzy on Burnz and the Bees, and on maize we have Palmcube Lame and Stratocaster. Those are the names I can remember off the top of my head. The rest of these rosters are pretty much B-League players from Season 2. One other interesting storyline, I guess, is that we have a Super Bowl player on both of these teams. Now, if you don't know Super Bowl, that was an interesting team in BPL Season 2 B-League who I think managed to get one map win over the entire season. So again, like one of these players is going to get their first win tonight. So it will be interesting. Yeah, I'm secretly rooting for Burnz and the Bees because I was an Atlantic player last weekend, so I hope they can get us our first win and do better than we did. So. But yeah, as you can see, we have our schedule here on the screen. If you want to see those teams that you see here right now, then you have to head over to the B stream. But for us here, it's going to be Burnz and the Bees versus maize. I don't have much else to say, so I think I'm just going to hand it over to our casters here, and you guys see me later again.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Jimmy. And as Jimmy mentioned as well, there's an opportunity for a lot of first day for some of these players' first map wins, as they were shut out last week in the BPL World Cup, or even for those Super Bowl players as well, or Super Bowl, depending on how you want to say it. There is a chance for even a match win.
Either way, one of these is, I think Elios is going to start things off for us here. And we are going to head into it, and we're heading straight to well. So one of these teams is going to come out with a big map win, and it's all going to start on well.
And I love when I love tournaments that start on control maps. It's very fun map type to watch, but it also doesn't give too much away as the strategies change once you get into the 2CP maps or maps like Esport or Hybrid that start with payloads. So it leaves some stuff up to the imagination for the next match or the next map. But for right now, I think there's going to be a lot to watch coming up.
Yeah, we're going to jump to a quick pause. Here's one of the teams has requested one. But yeah, you're dead on. 2CP, you'll generally see somewhat of a different team composition come out. You can, as you were saying, not give a lot away, especially for something like well. Teams will occasionally throw something completely different out that door on some of these, some of these control maps to begin with. We've seen it before with Lijiang Tower, where we're gonna run like Junk Sim, and it's not something that you would usually see, coming out of those drop ships. And I'm excited to see something for well. There's always a lot of opportunity for, it's a nice farm map, it's a nice Lucio map, but you can run quite a bit. There's not a ton of high ground, except for the little lighthouse area. However, teams do really like running a lot of these kind of divey fast comms. I think the ability to flank really effectively plays a large part into that. However, we do see a lot of Orisa on well. There might be no better feeling than getting that Lucio boop with a Pharah or the Orisa pull and just yoinking half the team in. So I hope that's how we're gonna start things off.
Well, you really touched on it there, with the amount of environmental kills that can be made on well. The old murder hole in the middle of the map. Sometimes the best DPS player in Overwatch is actually Gravity, as those environmental kills can really be utilized to turn teamfights around really quickly. The heroes you mentioned, Orisa, Pharah, Lucio, are obviously all great picks if that's the way you want to go. Roadhog you can see come out once in a while on well, and I think something interesting to watch will be with these, comparatively lower SR players, whether it's an off-roll or just somebody that has a bit of a lower SR, on something like, well, maybe we see some team comps that aren't exactly meta.
Yeah, you do see some comfort picks, and this is like a World Cup, so it may not necessarily be a team that has scrimmed a ton as a group. So I do think you're right. I think we might see some of these comfort picks, and sometimes you just never know. You'll get, your gold player will pull out a Roadhog and, you know, really turn the game on its head, putting people into the well. Wrecking Ball is obviously another big pick on this, for the same reasons that we do see, you know, Tracer's obviously a favorite for this map. So many flanking routes, lot of little health packs that you can duck out of the way, take away that line of sight. I'd like to, I'd be excited to see some Wrecking Ball, some Tracer, some Fire coming out here, and it seems like I am going to get my wish as we head back into the game.
Yeah, your wish has been granted, Angel says. We do have Drayton on the Wrecking Ball to start this off, and we have a little bit of an aerial battle as Azzy, Jazzy, and Blame on the Pharaoh and Echo respectively in the skies trying to battle for dominance above the ground. Warda trying to get into the back on the Tracer. Does a little bit of poke damage, but not too much right now. Azzy, Jazzy does have the pocket of Burnz on the Mercy that helps do a little bit of extra damage. Now Mr. Chip getting into the back line, and with the help of Chicken Nugget got on the Winston, they're able to get the first pick of the match. And the trades are coming thick and fast right now. Drayton is able to take down Keith, and it looks like this fight is going to go either way so far, but we have Maize with 3 players on the points, and it looks like their numbers advantage is dwindling as Wodet is now taking down Kumbu on the Tracer. And with Azzy Jazzy finding a couple picks here late into the fight, and a nice direct rocket hit onto Blame as well. They do get slept for the troubles, and the point hasn't even unlocked yet as both teams still have members on the point.
That was pretty scary there. Sleep onto the far. They almost make their way into the well. Really, I believe the res onto Wadad as they drop there managed to buy them that first cap. So.
And Drayton put out the minefield there late and then was able to boop Wadad into it and take them down. So the Tracer is deleted from the fight. Blame trying to get into the backlines once again. Barrage comes out from Azzy Jazzy. They're able to get one, but they get eliminated immediately. Chicken Nugget God jumping into the backline and stomping down Azu on the break. And now with this fight coming once again onto the point, it looks like the numbers are turning for the Burnz and the Bees. Getting onto the point, trying to take this point and get the flip. Azzy Jazzy finds another elimination onto Drayton, and that will be the capture taken for Burnz and the Bees.
Hello.
You always like seeing the point flip back and forth, and both teams kind of hovering around that 20% mark here. I really like seeing Wadet's Tracer play so far. They're obviously getting the resources, and it's definitely paying off here. 3 ultimates coming in for Burnz and Bees though, so this should be their fight to win.
The ultimate utilization is going to be so important in this upcoming engagement. Blame starts it off by copying the enemy Winston and getting into the backline, puts down the bubble, builds out the primal so quickly and gets into the back and takes down 2 with the aforementioned primal, and now just causing havoc in the backline. Swatting away Burnz on that Mercy, was not able to finish him off right away, but with the help of Kumbu, they're able to take them down. And that will be another great fight win coming in, this time for Maize.
That was completely coming from Blame. Really expensive fight for Burnz and Bees. They used 3 ultimates and lost the fight anyway. They're gonna have to, you know, play maybe a little bit passively. This might be a bit of an eco push for them, as those are big ultimates too. Like, this is going to be rough for them. They are going to be coming up to this barrage, so Azzy Jazzy could really turn this fight again on its head, with only Kumbu on the Tracer with the pulse bomb. Oh, no dice.
That was so close. They tried to take down the Ana there, but it was just wide. And now the barrage comes out from Azzy Jazzy, but this one does not claim any victims, but it does force out a self-destruct from the side of Satby. And now this is going to be the fight to take over the point. Right now it is still in control of Maize, but that could all change in a moment. However, Blame gets into the back with a Volkswagen Beam, takes down Azzy Jazzy, so aerial superiority achieved right now for Burnz and the Bees as they are hanging on to this point. A nice purple comes out there from Keith. Misses the sleep though, so Sadby is able to remech and hold on to the point and get a little more cap percentage going for Maize right now.
Surprised to see that Keith held onto that nano for so long there, and it seemed to cost them.
And even though Maize is bleeding members, they were able to hold onto the point for quite a while, build themselves an extra 15 or 20 extra percent to get so close to the end. They really only need to win one more fight to take this, but we could be coming up to final fight territory as both teams are about to be north of 80%.
Hello.
Burnz again, coming up to about 4 ultimates, almost 5. Here comes the Nano to start things off, though.
And this is it, and the Nano goes into the back onto Chicken Nugget God. They do have a Primal online if they need that to escape and get their HP back to full health, but they're able to jump onto Drain now. Jazzy with the barrage takes down Blade, and that is 2 picks for Burnz and the Bees as they are now asserting themselves on the objective, getting into the back. Mr. Chip on the D.Va has a self-destruct online as well, so still some ultimates available from Burnz and the Bees. But once again, it looks like they are taking control of this fight without using those ultimates. Mr. Chip throws the self-destruct over and claims Titan. One out with 2 on the Pulse Bomb. This is definitely going to Burnz and the Bees, and they are at 99%, so this looks like it's all over, but the crying, just the stall picks coming in right now from maize. This has to be the last fight. Chicken Nugget still has the Primal, but the Primal comes out first from Blame on the Echo with the duplicate, and this looks like, and yes, maize will flip it in the nick of time. It looked like it was all over for them, but they come back and flip the point and stay alive in this match.
Chicken Nugget God, you can see they had the Primal Rage ready to go and just weren't able to get it out there. Oh, Blame, a nice pick on Jazzy to start things off.
Now with another minefield coming in from Drayton, it looks like maize is trying to take control of the space on the objective with the minefield, and now the self-destruct out. There aren't a lot of safe places for Burnz to hide, and now with 3 taken down, it looks like Chicken Nugget God is going to fall into the well, and it is at 99%, so the winner of this fight will take the map. Blame trying to get back into the air. The overtime wick is burning down, and it is gone. So once again, I kind of cast or cursed Burnz and the Beezer. I thought they had it, but nice recontest coming in from maize as they are able to take the first sub-map here on Ilios.
Incredible recontest. As you were saying, that looked all but over there. What a counterattack and a nice re-engage there from maize. Again on Blame. He you know, they're gonna get the blame here for this. They had 2 massive primals during that map, and it flipped the fight twice. The first time they were able to immediately corner Keatswag and then drop onto Wadad, and then at the end again just finding so much value with their primer rages.
So both DPS there as well, starting off the same to use that teleporter to get their teams out of spawn, and then both Wadad and Kambu switched over to the Sombra. So different compositions on this map as opposed to on well. As we get going, and as Jazzy finds a nice pick onto Blade, that will open the door for Burnz to get in and maybe get the first cap here, but there's still a lot of work to do to get onto that objective as it is just unlocking now.
One thing that I hadn't considered is when you have people playing off roles, if they're playing DPS and if they're playing Echo, they could potentially play their main role if they copy the correct hero.
Yeah, doing a little bit of moonlighting into maybe heroes they are more comfortable on. But right now, speaking of being comfortable, Burnz has taken the first cap here as they've set up the point, and they're now pushing forward, trying to get into the backline, create a little more breathing room for themselves as Jazzy is finding a lot of damage from the Sparrow from up above. It looks like Chicken Nugget God went in for a little bit of a soft engage and then back right out here. It looks like they're just going to try and burn some time off the clock, maybe get a little chip damage in and get ready for this next engagement.
Kambu has been doing a great job on this Sombra. It is interesting to see the swap to Sombra, actually from both teams here. Oh, so close there. Jazzy just gets out of the way of that focusing beam.
And Kambu was able to get a hack onto Chicken Nugget God, but they weren't able to follow up onto the kill. Mr. Chip, however, does fall to the wayside, and now Kambu coming in and throwing down a big EMP. Gets 4 members of Burnz right now, and this looks like it could be the ult that they needed. However, Chicken Nugget God was able to pop the primal stall for a little bit, but too little too late, as he's finding a lot of value on that brick right now. And with the reset of Burnz as they chose to go over the edge, that will be maize taking control.
Unfortunate. Chicken Nugget God had the primal there. Maybe thought that there was a little bit more help available, but people were dropping just left and right around them. This is going to be, it's an interesting one here. So they are going to have the bomb and the barrage here ready to go, and the Transcendence gets popped maybe a little bit early here by Titan.
Titan might not be able to negate the ultimate that come out afterwards from Burnz and Bees if they so choose to use them. And now the duplicate comes out from Blame. This time they go onto the Diva, and it looks like Maize is going to hold on here. Yep, they've done a good job of utilizing some ultimates to make sure they hold on to the point. And now when this next engagement does come around, it looks like teams will be about even on cap percentage.
It seemed a little scary, but I actually really liked the aggressive play there from Titan. Chip and Azzy Jazzy were not able, they didn't even have time to use their ultimates. Maybe it may have been a bit of a choice there to not invest anything with that Transcendence on the field. But they did buy quite a bit of time for themselves, and both teams are right around that 60% mark.
And Burnz and Beast do have a little bit of an ultimate advantage right now as they have 3 online ready to go. And there's the first one as Azzy Jazz pops a barrage and puts Titan into the next life. And now the chip getting on the up. They do have a self-destruct ready, but they got hacked, so they weren't able to use it before they got taken out of their mech, but it doesn't matter. Azzy Jazzy going crazy right now, getting 3 with the Pharah.
Azzy Jazzy gets the boop onto Drayton, and as Drayton sails over their head, Wadette gets the hack on, and the ball just heads on off over the ledge. That was incredible to watch.
Not really a swim you want to go for when you're hacked up and just getting knocked over edges into the ocean. And this looks like it could be a pivotal fight coming in as Azzy Jazzy getting back onto the point. Drayton got there early and dropped the minefield to try and not dislodge Burnz and the Beast. And now Chicken Nugget God coming back with the Primal, eating some of the damage from the mines. They are taking a lot, but staying alive with that extra HP that comes out from that Primal Rage. Azzy Jazzy and Mr. Chip staying in on the point. Mr. Chip getting very low on their mech, but they still do have that self-destruct if they want to try and zone some people off the objective, and it looks like they will use it now. Trying to see if it can claim any victims, but no, it does not. It does do a little bit of zoning work, and that helps buys a lot of room for Azzy Jazzy that gets another boot, takes down 2, and then Drayton. Oh my lord, this Pharah right now.
Oh, Drayton. I don't know. It's not finding a ton of value with the Wrecking Ball here between Wadette and Azzy Jazzy, just putting so much pressure, and they managed to pick off Titan before they were able to get to the point.
That means the start of this last fight will be 6 on 5 for Burnz and the Bees as Titan is out. And now with Savvy taking down Keyspike, this looks like it will be the last fight of the round. If one team will take it here as it is 99 to 99. Drayton getting back onto the point with the Wrecking Ball was able to take out the adaptive shields before they got swept. But they are hacked again, getting close to the minefield. They get it, pop it right away, and now it looks like Burnz and the Bees is in dire straits with a minefield on the point from Maize.
Oh, EMP comes out. Does it get anything though?
No, that was a whiff of an EMP, but it was, let's call it a zoning EMP there as Maize does take the map and win here on Lighthouse.
It's a great start here for Maize, and I think, was that their first win? That might have been, I think that was their first map win, potentially? At least
Yes, it
one
was.
of the players who was on the Super Bowl team. That was their first map win, and yeah, we are getting confirmed that there it is. And a brig play of the game to just end things off.
Just to boot, you get the brig play of the game. You love to see it, but only if you're the brig. I know there's probably at least 6 people in that lobby that didn't love it.
Yeah, while we're on that play of the game, I think we forgot to mention in the beginning that Azu, I think, is subbing in for, I believe it's Stratocaster who couldn't make it to the game, so we do have a sub coming in here, but, you know, I feel like Burnz and the Bees, they shouldn't be too down on themselves after that map. I feel like they were the better team most of the time, they just couldn't close out the rounds. I don't know, maybe that's something they can work on as we head into our next couple, hopefully 2 maps, but who knows.
Yeah.
How did you guys see that round? Like, do you think they can maybe pull it around, or like, what do you think was like their weakness here? Or like, why didn't they not come out as the winner here?
I'm gonna say, as you were saying, they just weren't seeming able to close things out, and it came down to some ultimate utilization. Maybe, you know, cooldown. I would say cooldowns and ultimates. They just didn't have enough left in the tank as they came into those last fights. They would, especially on the last fight of Ilios there, just an unfortunate pick onto the Zenyatta as they made their way towards the point. Really nice aggressive play there from maize to take away one of those key supports to really enable that last fight. I think we saw maybe a couple ultimates come out a little early, specifically the Transcendence, but you know, when you're getting pressured like that, that's just kind of how, though, it's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not... Sorry, you go first.
Oh, I was just gonna say I 100% agree. It really looked like the map was so close, so it will be very intriguing to see what will happen on the next map and if Burnz and the Bees can turn it around.
I think they can.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm not fully surprised by this comp that Burnz and the Bees are playing. I was watching some of their scrims before, and I did see them trying out this Pharah Mercy comp a lot, you know, putting Azzy on this hero that can sort of act as a carry to the team, and he did really, or they did really pop off there. Like, there were a couple moments where they were just using their ults really well, their barrages really well. They were putting so much pressure on them, but I feel like maybe they have to try something else here, because it felt like maize, they kind of figured out how to counter it, especially when it went into overtime. So we're going to see how it goes here as we head into a hybrid map for this match, which will be Hollywood, and it looks like Burnz and the Bees, they're going to be attacking here.
Yes, it does. Burnz and the Bees showing early on here, going for maybe a Reinhardt comp, with Anarchy coming in to play the Reinhardt as a sub, and Chicken Nugget God on the Diva.
This is really interesting. I like this comp from them. I think running the rush kind of composition, especially when you're trying to take this first point of Hollywood, it's a little bit of a safer comp here. They're not relying maybe as much on any one player, you know, taking a bunch of people's heads off the beginning. You can kind of just battering ram right into the enemy team here. A little bit more of a defensive position coming out here from maize though.
maize starting up in the cafe behind the objective. So it looks like Burnz is going to take that advantage, get right onto the point and force them down, because at some point they will have to contest. They started Blaine that looks very strong in the Echo, but almost getting caught out there by Chicken Nugget God. He started getting into the backline as Jazzy gets the kill, and all of a sudden it looks like this fight is completely popped off here, and with Azzy getting into the backline, taking down one with the break, Jazzy has to use their ice player to heal up and stay alive and into the fight. Azzy gets another pick on the bridge, doing a ton of heavy lifting right now, just trying to hold on to the points, but they are outnumbered, and now they are dead. And with the support line finally falling for maize, Burnz and the Bees is going to probably get most of the cap, if not all of this first point.
Really like this composition from them. The May wall, obviously really nice there from Azzy Jazzy. A ton of value, and we're seeing a almost wholesale swap here from maize, heading towards this rush of their own. Azu on the brig, probably holding on for this rally. I would expect the Lucio to come out on the next one.
Both teams jockeying to get position on this high ground. It is so important on the second point here in Hollywood to make sure that you have control of this high ground. It's such an advantage if you are looking down on the other team. Now Wadep pops the Deadeye, but it gets blocked off by the May wall, trying to wait it out, but just uses more of a zoning ultimate for the time being, as they weren't able to get it off before that wall went down. And now as Jazz gets a nice freeze onto Sappy and takes them out of the mech, and that means that there's no way to stop this blizzard if they want to throw that in. It will not be able to be eaten by the team, but now Reinhardt's coming toe-to-toe as Brady and Anarchy are looking eye-to-eye, facing off, seeing which one can win the Reinhardt. They have a Shatter online, and Anarchy used it right away. And they are able to take out a ton. What a Shatter coming in from Sappy. Sorry, from Anarchy.
Incredible Shatter there, just well timed, and you're going to see they are going to get this high ground position again, which is going to be so key as maize is coming out to try and spot this point.
And there has been a lot of payload movement as well. That payload almost getting to the end of point B here. Wadep throwing out another Deadeye, decides to draw this one a bit quicker. Azzy Jazzy staying behind the Reinhardt shield right now as they're utilizing the amplification measures coming in from Keyswag to hold on to the high ground and simultaneously push the bailout. Now an Amp Matrix and Blizzard come out as well from both sides, and it looks like once again Burnz and the Bees is taking the better part of this fight, as they are getting the eliminations that will mean they will take the second point.
Titan to use their window there and just couldn't find the value from it. I think it was a nice move to try and put some aggression in there as Drayton gets picked off very late. So that's gonna be a little bit of a stagger along with Kumpu. It's only Drayton with the Shatter. Blame is going to be coming up with the Blizzard into this next fight. Wadet with almost another Deadeye here, though. They're building them so quickly.
And so far, those Deadeyes haven't actually found any targets, but they are doing such a good job of buying extra time for the team to get in position and complete the rotations that they need to get the advantage into the next fight. As both things come together once again, Wadet tries to throw in a flashbang off the top, and now a Blizzard comes out this time from Flame trying to get in there, freezes up quite a few targets. Anarchy gets very low, but they are staying alive. A lot of healing coming in from C-Swag right now, keeping their team alive, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit insufficient as Kumbu and Sapi get into the back line, and they are finding final blows right now. And finally, maize is able to stabilize after being on their heels for quite a while. And we'll see how much more time they can bleed off the time bank, as there is still 3 minutes and 50 seconds left on the attack for Burnz and the Beast.
A ton of time here, and coming up to 6 ultimates. They're going to have 6 going into this fight, and oh boy, here they come.
And here they come indeed. Self-destruct getting into the back line from Chicken Nugget God, but the Immortality Guild came out from Titan to make sure that that didn't end anybody's life. Azu is now over onto Lucio, and they're the ones that are able to finish off Anarchy. Kumbu once again finding a headshot onto Azu Jazzy, and now taking down Wadet. This is going to start looking like a much better defense coming out from Nate.
This stabilization was key. They didn't throw in a ton of ultimates there. They only used the 2. You have to be, happy coming into your next attack with 4 here. Maize, again, they're going to have Blame's Blizzard. They're going to have Titan's Wall. Some really nice zoning also to keep this defense going.
And now, once again, it started by the Blizzard, frees up a lot of members of Burnz and the Bees, and C-Swag is taken down with the rest of the team, as maize is asserting dominance here on point C in Hollywood, making sure that they are taking these team fights very quickly. They now have run out of ultimate save of Drain's Earth Shatter, which is about to come online, and Burnz and the Bees has to really want to take this next fight with the extra ultimates that they have.
They've been holding on to these ultimates now. Wadet almost at another Deadeye. They're still sitting on these 4. They need to start coming out.
And they just comes out from Titan, and that was followed quickly by Anarchy with the Shatter, and with an animation of their own, they are able to push forward. Burnz and Bees, a nice combination of ultimates and a beautiful fire start coming out at the end from Anarchy to clean this one up. There will be one last recontest coming in here for maize, and they have to take this back, or Burnz and Bees is going to end up with a very decent time back.
Another dangerous Deadeye here to end things off, potentially for them, although nice Immortality Field and Maywall take away most of that damage.
But it was able to stroll around the wall, but they didn't find a ton of value with it. Keeps like getting into the back and taking down Drayton, as that is going to be a pivotal elimination, as that Reinhardt is now out of the fight. But Azu and Kumbu are doing work and doing a lot of heavy lifting right now. Self-destruct went in from Chicken Nugget God to make sure they kept their neck. Anarchy getting low on both shield up and HP, and they are at 0 as they are sent back to spawn. And now with Drain coming back on the Wrecking Ball, trying to spin to win, gets a nice slam on Chicken Nugget God, and then finishes them off with the help of a critical hit from Kumpu. And that will be a hold, and now there's only a 60 seconds left on the clock. And what looked like a tough start for maize has really blossomed into a nice defense.
It's been so key. They managed to shut down and really hold off any aggression that Burnz and Bees has brought forward. It's such a disadvantage for ultimates, and they've managed to kind of persevere through all this with a nice wall. It's going to buy him again more space to work with as they forces the rotation over to the attacker's left.
With playing pretty bad animation spin, it makes it so much harder to walk into that extra damage coming through the window. As you guys get frozen up and finished off, and this is looking beautiful for maize, as they only have 15 seconds left to hold on here. Drayton getting deep with the Reinhardt. Has to get out of dodge very quickly, as they were alone, but they are getting 20 come tight, but it won't be enough space to get through this charge as Energy has to play aggressive to get on to be able to test. And Wanted tried to throw the Jedi, but they get slammed by the block and Hammer Trading, get back into the backline with a very nice charge and with a finish off on the Fire Strike. That is going to be the first attack done here as maize hold right at the end of point C.
Ooh, that got a little dicey towards the end. Sappy with an incredible eat onto the Blizzard. Really kind of that was the nail in the coffin for that attack. And they came in with so much time. And it really seemed like maize just needed to find their footing. Burnz had done such a good job of controlling that high ground through the streets phase. And they just couldn't find that same momentum coming into that third point. And if they're going to want to, have a solid defense, I'd like to see them maybe play their ultimates a little bit faster here. They did hold on to a couple of them through, I think, like 2 full team fights almost, where they had the engagement, they had the aggression, but just holding on to the ultimates, I'm not totally sure why, I guess. Waiting for a more opportune moment. We are going to have a quick pause here. But yeah, I'd like to see them bring this out a little more aggressively, play a little bit faster. They're running this rush comp. They got to be going in on these speed boosts and really getting on top.
And I think the Burnz and the Bees had a very big missed opportunity there right at the end. We saw Drayton on the Reinhardt get so deep, so close to the spawn of Burnz and the Bees, and they weren't able to punish that aggressiveness. They were able to get the heals, get out. They even survived through a charge. It was something, if they had taken out the main tank at the start of that fight, there's a good chance they may have been able to push it in. So if maize really wants to keep playing that aggressive and getting that far forward, if Burnz and the Bees want to take this map here, they really have to punish maize for it. And that will be so important, as the Burnz and the Bees have to get a better defense coming in here, or they're going to be going out of this game with a 2-0 loss.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They should have been able to punish that. They do have enough damage to make that happen. And then the charge from Anarchy just took Drayton a little bit too deep. And then the entire situation was flipped on its head, where they, at that point, Anarchy had overextended.
Burnz and the Bees starting off here on the defense in a more conventional place to start, but a nice teleport into the back of the company was able to allow their team to rotate around into the cafe behind the point, and then drop down on the point and force that pressure on the objective. Anarchy gets the first hit on the break, but it looks like it's not going to be enough, as the rest of the eliminations are coming through from maize. Kathy and company doing most of the finishing off here, but it really was a team effort, as they are able to weather the storm and use that nice rotation to get them a first point cap.
This is going to be huge. They're opening up so much time for the streets phase, and one of the big challenges with the streets phase is controlling this high ground. With Kampu on the Symmetra, this could completely negate any control that Burnz and Bees had.
Yeah, and even though maize did more damage, their healers are also closer to their ultimates, their support lines. So it looks like this is coming up roses right now for maize, as they are trying to get onto the high ground, like you mentioned, Aiden, with that teleport and lose the immortality field, but gain a pick onto Wada. And now with Azgazi's trying to freeze up and finish off members of maize, it looks like this could be a turnaround here, as Burnby is able to finish off Drake, and now the Lucio getting in for blood. It looks like Blaine's going to throw in a blizzard here, but that's a little bit late. We'll see if they can turn it around, and so far so good, as they are able to delete a couple members of Burnz and Bees off the server. And it looks like as he does, he's just trying to stall on the main, using all their abilities to stay on the objective for as long as they can. But it will be turned around. A nice blizzard in the end coming up from Blame that was able to unlock the door for Mate.
Blame has had this gift with their ultimates, turning fights around. That's at least the third time we've seen them do it. you know, this one seemed a little bit more risky, but it's really working out for them. Unfortunately, Kumpu and Titan drop fast there, and it's, oh no. This is going to be a very fast stabilization for them, and they're going to punish some of these more forward players from maize.
Yeah, and we touched on it going into this round. There needed to be that punishment coming out for Burnz and the Bees, and it looks like this time they were successful in doing so, making sure that those forward players were taken out.
Now, with Kumpu on the Symmetra, they're going to be able to kind of bypass one of the challenges for this area of the map, which is, you know, waiting for these elevators. Oh boy, and everything's coming in. Another blizzard even from Advocate.
We tried to press the issue by throwing up the animators early, but it looks like that backfired, and now the Jedi comes out once again from one. This time they were able to find an off angle, but the outcome is the same as there are no eliminations as Jedi finishes off that B, and now the B has to come out from Azu as they're trying to keep their team healed up and healthy, and a big slam comes from Anarchy. Let's see this. Anarchy getting in and getting everyone down. What a shatter coming out from Anarchy.
Oh, absolutely huge. Drayton's able to ride the payload about 1 meter before being punished for their insolence. Drayton does have the shatter coming into this. There is going to be another blizzard from Blame. So if Blame is able to, you know, do what they seem to be best at, which is, you know, overcoming impossible odds with their ultimates, this is going to be the key. There is still 2.5 minutes, so they can play slow. They can build up whatever else they need to make this happen. Nice rotation here coming around, except for looks like Drake's the head of the hot ground.
They're not using charge just to get back to the safety of their teammates. Now, as you guys are coming back and getting close to another blizzard, has to watch the defense matrix from that team and make sure that that doesn't get negated. Wada throws in a Jedi, and they're able to find 2 on the back of that, and now the DPS is going up for Burnz and the Bees as they are once again holding on here. And with the way the defense on the first point went, it is so important that they're burning some time off the clock.
It's going to be key. You know, we did see Burnz and Bees come into that third point with a ton of time and watch it all dwindle. The third point can really be make or break. And getting stuck at the end of point 2, though, this is such a rough place to be stuck on Hollywood. The spawn advantage is there for the defenders, and they hive the high ground.
So a little bit of a different rotation coming out this time for maize as they try to go around the right side of that tall building and avoid the high ground advantage that maize has. And now with the flashbang coming up from Wadet, it looks like this could be the win for maize coming in, and they can start pushing this payload again. Blaine's able to take down Chicken Nugget God, and now Wadet trying to live in a little bit of a usual flash and fan to take down Kumpu, but they will have to contest if they want to hold this, but they won't be able to make it. Just one man stuck in the backline, and they are inevitably eliminated as they just had no support left as they went on their own little mini rotation.
So we got Kumpu and Azu up with their ultimates. So Jedi and Beat ready to go. Blame coming up to another blizzard. However, 4 ultimates for Burnz here and almost a 5th from Azzy Jazzy. So plenty of tools at their disposal to play this real fast, and they're starting to come out right away.
Wadet trying to set the pace here with another Jedi, but Blaine's been really good with the Maywalls to make sure that the damage is down, and now Kumpu better with their own edge. Not a lot of Blaine get into the back with the Blizzard, take down Wadet, and now with a lot of members of Burnz throwing up, Drayton is using that hammer to mop to clean everybody up, and now trying to get into the back here and punish Chicken Nugget God, maybe get a bit of a stagger here as that payload is inching ever closer to this golden box of victory.
Minute 20, so they got like 1-2 fights maybe here, but now that the payload's so close, this is really going to be do or die here.
And Drayton winning the battle of the Rhino Charge, they were able to block Cannon and then land one on their own. but it looks like it might be a little bit too late as Chicken Nugget got getting in, finally finishing off Anarchy. Wyatt once again in the back line, trying to find some damage. Now with 53 seconds left, this could be the last fight here if maize is able to get back in. Right now it is 3-3 on the point. Anarchy coming back in on the Wrecking Ball as Burnz are taking out the stall heroes to get back to the point and contest it. Try and make sure that they live through this next fight. And now the beat comes out here from Azu, getting a lot of shield on the members of maize and a lot of extra sustainability coming out. Wada tried to pop another Deadeye with the back, building this very quickly. Burnz throws out a sound barrier of their own. And now it's come through finding one with the Deadeye and a couple self-destructs coming out that are both with. Sappy is able to find a kill with onto Burnz with the remix. And this looks like maize could still take it there as they are finding it. They do not have the same spawn advantage, and it looks like they will take it. And that's going to be maize taking this map as well, and with that 2-0 in the match.
Just not enough. Again, that's both maps. Just not enough left in the tank as it brought it towards the end. What a close match that was, though. Both teams, Drayton just throws caution to the wind and starts beating down the Alting with 3. Pretty successful. That's when I see the Reinhardt of my team do that, I die a little inside because it usually doesn't work out that way. But in that case, it completely paid off for them, and all that aggression worked in their favor.
That was definitely a 5. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I was gonna say it was a really close match. I did feel like it felt kind of like a repeat again from map 1 where Burnz and the Bees, they looked really strong in the beginning. You know, they pushed forward, they had 5 minutes in the time bank, and then they just couldn't close off the map. Although I have to say, like, on Hollywood they did look even better than on Ilios, so I don't think, you know, it says 0-2, but it was a really close match, so I think they do have a chance going into this lower bracket run. But maize, you know, they get their first win here in the tournament, they get their first win for their region, and they're gonna move on to our upper bracket round 1, which is gonna be against Northern Grizzlies, which are, I guess, sort of the defending champions here from Canada. So yeah, really close match. Impressed by both teams. I think they both have chances here of getting far. It does look like the first match on the other stream has finished too. The team whose name I can't pronounce, the Nordic Northeast region, has won their match against Patrifornia Palms, which means that Patrifornia, which is California, is gonna face off against Burnz and the Beast later on the stream. It's gonna be our third match here. And yeah, like I said, maize, they're gonna go up against Canada. It does look like we have a couple people coming in here for maize. Drag some people in here. I see Azu.
Hello.
How you guys doing after that game?
Hello.
Listen, I hate to say it, but my dick's too big for B-League. Just gonna put that.
Alright.
That's a good way to start it off.
Yeah.
Positive start.
I guess first question is for me, how does it feel to get your first win for your region at this World Cup? I know Asa, you've been playing last week for Korn as well. You've been subbing in here for the B-League team. So how does it feel for you to get your first win here?
Feels pretty good. Obviously not in the ideal situation with me on support. However, I have had a lot of fun coaching maize and now ringing for maize. And I have faith, and I have very big faith in the team that we will go far.
I mean, I'm feeling good. Obviously, Person's our usual main tank. Person was somewhere. I'm not entirely sure what was going on. I think they were fixing a ceiling fan or something.
Yeah,
they went to get water. They went to get water, and then all of a sudden they were fixing a ceiling fan. So I just got thrown in there on main tank. So, I mean, I was still good enough to MTD everybody, though. So.
Yeah.
It's important to keep those ceiling fans working.
I think the ceiling fan's working now. We'll have to ask.
Please provide an update.
So, with this win, you guys are going to go up against Canada, who I guess their B team has a lot to live up for because their A equivalent has won the World Cup last weekend. Did you guys even prepare for this match? Like, do you even know who, like, what kind of comp you're going up against? Have you guys watched them in scrims? Like, you guys ready for that match, or what's your plan going into that one?
Our plan is kind of just the same plan we have with every team, just be better than them. Just the big overarching plan that we have. Yeah, our plan is to be balling. That is really just the whole thing. Balling is a mentality, and we all possess it. So that's kind of just
we are all
go in there, just diff everybody. That's kind of the plan that we got.
We posted Maze Ballin.
Alright, well, Aegis, you guys have some questions?
Yeah, I have one for sure. I think both of you mentioned that you're playing off roles. What kind of adjustments have you had to make, just so you're not maybe playing the role that you're normally doing in a team setting like this?
Usually I play off tank, so going to main tank just for this game wasn't like that big of a deal. I've been playing a little bit. Like I've been filling like when person hasn't been able to make scrims, so it's kind of. I'm here for the team as the flex god is what they've been calling me. I'm here to literally play everything. I tried out for off tank and main support. They brought me in. They're like, hey, you're just gonna be our flex player. So I'm here to play everything. I might fuck around and take a starting spot in every game. I don't know. Maybe next game I play DPS. Maybe after that I play support. Who knows?
Yeah. For me, it's a bit more of a big shift because I play tank usually. I'm an off-tank player, and then I started picking up main tank. And now I'm playing support, mainly main support. So it's a bit of a bigger shift. It's harder for me to shot call mid-fight, but it's a lot easier for me to pre-fight plan. So I'm just trying to shift more towards that and letting someone like Drayton or Sappy or person take the reins for shot calls and target calls.
Awesome. Well, with that, I'm gonna say thank you for coming here for the interview. Good luck in your match later on. I think you're gonna be on the B stream as our third match. Burnz and the Bees, like we said, they lost in a close match, but they're gonna go up against California later, which is gonna be our third match here. Maybe we can take a look at our schedule here to see what's up next. I believe it's gonna be, oh boy, these are some names. What is it? This El Paso E-Daters versus the Savannah Soyboys. Those are some names right there. That's going to be our next match here, which is going to be Texas versus, I believe, Florida, that is? Yeah. So don't miss it. We're going to be back here soon after this.
Bad Pachimari League has grown. It has become home to many from all walks of life, from all around the world. And now, to celebrate where we came from, to celebrate who we are, we have created a new tournament to see what the world has to offer. 12 teams from around the world, trialed and refined to their very best, will now face off against one another in a double elimination bracket. 2 strikes and you're out. It's a worldwide competition. And in a worldwide competition, the only thing you want to strike is gold. Welcome to the BPL World Cup.
Oh my god, it's a fire game impersonated with a pulse bomb!
But Sage is hot mustard, and all of a sudden this is anybody's fight. Drip dippers are still in it. Massive pulse bomb from Sage! What is that? Sage! Clutching it up!
Lennox holding on to the brush, gets 3, setting from behind with 3 with a huge barrage, taking a crazy off angle once again. There's a lot of ults, there's a lot of colors, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be a massive high noon from Yancha.
But Signet hits another massive shatter. Oh my lord. He's so good. He's just so good.
A pretty big flux. The trance is there to keep the team alive. Oh, the bombs,
Oh my god!
Wings, they got some wind in their sails as well. They got grab coming in, it will land perfectly, and the windows fly through in terms of damage.
That's a 4K in that Nitro. I've absolutely insane. Pomku with the 6K.
And we're back, everyone. Same host, same casters here, but a different match. We just saw Atlantic lose to, what was it, Midwest here. And now we have the El Paso E-Haters, which is Texas, versus the Savannah Soyboys, which is Florida. Some interesting team names here for sure. Yeah. What do you guys think about this match?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, with the way the world's been the last, you know, year and a half, there's a lot of, you know, E-Daters out there now, so it's not.
It's all E-Daters.
Not as crazy as it used to be, right?
Yeah, new developments here. So my understanding is that Obi-Wan is actually on the El Paso E-Daters, who was the Season 2 B-League MVP, so some expectations to meet here.
That's correct, yeah. We do have some some known players on both of these teams, if you can take a look at the roster. I also want to say special shout out or hello to all the people who are here from the companion stream. I know we just got raided with like over 500 people, so I'm not nervous at all, of course.
Yeah,
we do have... so if you look at El Paso E-Daters, which is Texas, it's pretty much a lot of people from Alpine who are playing together or wanted to play together, so they all came together here on this team. Like you mentioned, Obi-Wan, B-League MVP, who's still looking for his first win in World Cup. He was playing for, I believe, Team Corn last weekend on the A-League World Cup, so he'll get another shot here. And then if you look at Savannah Soyboys, which is Florida, it's also some A-League players. I think 2 people from Sarasota. We got Frank and Drams here. Noma, who joined Night Drive at the end of last season in A-League and played in playoffs for them. And then we have a bunch of B-League players, you know, Pika, Zul, Flaws from Fortnite Pancake. We have McMeme, who I just love his name. I think he was in one of the British brawls that I played in, so I know him from there. And of course, Seal CEO from Vector Matrix. So a lot of known players here. I think it's an interesting match here, and I couldn't really tell you who I think has the upper hand here.
Well, I think this is going to be a really fun match to watch because, as you mentioned, Jimmy, there are a ton of known players, so I'm really expecting some massive hero plays to come out from both teams.
Yeah, I think we're going to see quite a bit come out here. You know, it's whoever wins this game is going to go on to our 9th match, which is going to be playing the team whose name none of us can pronounce. Does anyone want to take a stab at this?
I could take a run at it. I would go with something like Langert. No, It wasn't good. I gave it a shot, but I knew halfway through it wasn't going to end well.
That's brave. What about you, Jimmy? How are you feeling this name?
It's a name, sure. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce it. I'm just gonna call them Team Nordic. I know they have Northeast players in there, but to me they're Team Nordic. So, I just got word that the pronunciation is Earthlinger. Alright, sure, whatever.
Earthlinger.
That seems fine.
Earthlinger, okay.
Okay, well, I think both teams are close to getting ready here. Yeah, if we look at these teams, like I said, we have a lot of known players here. Actually, on El Paso, we have some players who have not really been participating in BPL events in the past. We have some sub-20 players, some British ball players. They are both really strong rosters in theory. It'll just be interesting to see if they can translate that to some results here. Savannah, if I look at them, I feel like they can go really far. You know, they got Frank, who I feel like is a pretty good leader person. They got Zeal CEO, who I know is a pretty good shot caller on main support. You know, that's kind of like the role where you want someone to play who's able or who is like confident to shot call for your team. So it'll be interesting to see. I have no idea what like comms they're gonna play. If I take a guess, I think Savannah might play some Pharah comms here, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will definitely see, and this is going to be such an unpredictable match coming in. But Ageless, if you had a prediction, who do you like in this one?
I'm gonna go with the E-Daters. They have Obi-Wan. They're extremely effective. Echo especially. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at Obi-Wan. It's a good name. It's a good team name, and
yeah.
I have to lean towards that without really knowing a ton more about the players here.
I mean, I am going to stay on brand and go against you and take the Savannah Soyboys. I really like what Jimmy was saying previously about there being, you know, good shot callers, good team players. And I think that communication and that togetherness that a team can show can really take you far in Overwatch.
Absolutely. I think especially having a really solid shot caller in that main support role can make all the difference. Communication is always really, really important, and obviously in Overwatch in general. But as you get to the, so this is like the 3300 and below SRs, comms can absolutely make or break a match.
Totally. It's something that you could have the most mechanically gifted players, but if you have, 6 people that are all on the same page versus 6 mechanically gifted but more kind of Lone Ranger type players, I'm going to take, that well-oiled 6-stack every time. As we are into the match here on Oasis, Vaporeon trying to throw some shots in as there is a bit of a story happening in the skies right now as both Pharahs trying to find each other. There have been some hits made, but with both of them having mercy pockets, I was going to say that both of them survived so far, but Vaporeon gets taken down by Flaws, and that will be the go button for Soyboys. They're going to want to get in and take advantage of this extra player. Flaws trying to get in, trying to find another elimination, still has that mercy pocket, and them over the top, getting the members of El Paso very low, but hasn't taken anyone down. Steel CEO on that mercy, trying to afford them for as much damage as possible. Now Bandino trying to get in there and get a kill. There has been a trade made, so both teams right now are at 5. Flaws getting into the backline, finding a lot of value on this Pharah, and now has a barrage online. And it looks like they will be able to take down Milky Boy on the Orisa, and now the barrage comes out to boot. Kumis was able to get in and take down Smart HD, and Flaws trades that back by taking them down as well. This point is so hard to take initially, and then so hard to retake if you don't take it on that first try. And right now it looks like Soyboys is getting very close, and they do indeed complete the cap.
Vaporeon immediately moves over to that McCree. They died twice in that first fight. Just a ton of pressure coming onto them. Flaws is flawless so far on this far. Just making it so difficult to find any space for Alex, Yoshi, Obi-Wan. Everyone is struggling.
Big Death Blossom coming in from the top rope. It was able to find Steel CEO, but that is the only pick so far. They finish off Pig Bandito in the Baby Diva form, and now with so many players on the point, And with Zool getting taken down late, that's going to be a flip coming in here from Vaporeon. It's only a matter of time. Like I mentioned earlier, it's so hard to cap this point as there's so much surface area on it. Teams can really stagger in and contest for a long time. But the flip has been made, and now El Paso E-Daters are getting their own cap percentage.
Hot dog. The aggression is wholly punished there on the hot dog. It seemed like they got a bit of a cheeky hook there, and it went just so wrong so fast as Vaporeon takes out 3.
Vaporeon popping off on the McCree from the high ground, was able to use the Deadeye, and that damage boost coming in from Obi-Wan, who's on the Mercy. And mercy me, that was a great play coming in from the McCree, and they are looking better and better as El Paso E-Daters go on in this map.
Percentages have been matched now. Both tank ultimates available for El Paso. Pika Bandito does have the bomb here and is coming over the top right away.
And Pika Bandito throw it in, and they found 2 with the Deadeye. That's so much value coming in from the bomb. Kumis was able to get a resurrect onto them, but it will be too little too late. Savannah Soyboys is getting onto the point, trying to finally get this cap going through. Kumis is causing a lot of problems. They threw in another Death Blossom and was able to take down Flaws, but that was it before Frank punishes them for their misdeeds. And now with Vaporeon dropping down onto the point, this contestation continues for the E-Daters. Getting on there, finding a crit onto the Diva, but just not enough damage to get it. And now Savannah Soyboys is back in possession of the point.
These mines kind of providing what would be, I guess, ultimate charge for Hot Dog, but they're already at full charge. I do get a little bit for Alex Yoshi. Nice hook there on to Pika Bandito, and they're being purpled as well.
That is the way you want to start the fight if you're a Roadhog, finding a hook onto that. Unfortunately, the Diva Mech maybe not the greatest target to put it on. You're more or less looking for a squishy, but it wasn't something that was meant to be right there. Kumis is once again finding people with that Reaper and those Hellfire shotguns, taking down Frank on the Wrecking Ball. So right now there is a 1-person advantage for El Paso, and it looks like Savannah's just going to back out here and regroup before they come back in for another fight.
They're going to be walking into this Deadeye from Vaporeon. He's on the high ground. He's got the Mercy boost.
Vaporeon did not find as much value with that Deadeye there. They almost got Seal on that Mercy, but they were able to pop their belt and just fly to safety to get out of there. But Vaporeon is able to finish off Flaws, and that will once again be a numbers advantage for E-Daters as they are holding on to this point. Kumis pops another Death Blossom, is able to take down Seal, and now with Pika Bandito getting out of their mech, that is going to trigger overtime. And if E-Daters are able to hold on here, which right now it looks very likely, Vaporeon uncontested on this high ground, just clicking heads over and over again. There's just no pressure being put onto that McCree, and that looks like it is going to be the first point going for El Paso, as their DPS just did so much heavy lifting at the end of that round.
You said it there, Vaporeon all alone on that high ground. No real pressure. As you're coming in towards the end of the, obviously you're just looking for that touch. It's really hard to get up into the face of Vaporeon, but it wasn't just the end. They were left alone for so long, up on that high ground with, and it's such a tough position to really contest without either going around through the little elevator booster thing, or having some more of those like mobile heroes, and they just didn't have the pieces to get there. Savannah looking like they're going to be running some double shield with the McCree May here, so kind of a standard rush comp here. No Baptiste, and opting for this Sigma to run into this.
Milky Boy played that very aggressive and got super low in HP, but they didn't get low enough to be taken down. And now with a nice fire start coming out from Frank, it looks like Soyboys is trying to press the advantage right now, get onto the point. Kumi's trying to get into the backline, still on that Reaper. Wasn't able to find any eliminations as there was traded out, as both McCrees were able to find one poor soul to send back to spawn. And now with this point unlocked, the first cap's going to go to Soyboys, but they are going to deal with a lot of resistance coming in right now from the E-Daters.
The Reinhardt just got back here. Frank just got back. Very clever, Frank. just got back in time. Kumis does manage to pick one up, and it looks, oh wow, just not even needing to invest very much here. Coming up to almost, 5 ultimates. Alex Yoshi brought out the window, did a little bit of shopping, and that was it for Savannah. That fight that push just ended right there.
It fizzled out very quickly, and now they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and come back in. But Frank gets taken down by and the hammer immediately. Vaporeon popping the Deadeye, which is going to force Savannah back and try and recontest a little bit further away as they are pushing it and adding to this engagement. Kumis is up to a Death Blossom. He gets stunned out of it immediately. What a nice flash coming in there, but it's not enough right now as they do get taken down in the end. And with Kumis getting back onto the point, they are pushing through. Pika Bandita trying to find shots with those Hyper Spheres, and Celio was able to win the Battle of the Lucios. Now a big slam coming out, and that will finalize the point, or will it, as now Milky Boy coming back in with a slam of their own, but it was ill-advised as there was just no follow-up as they were the only player left on the point for El Paso.
This all started here with Drams sleeping Obi-Wan out of their beat, and it just took away all that sustainability, all that staying power, completely out of El Paso. So Soyboys are now, they're up, no real ultimates to work with, and the grab is ready from Hot Dog, and here it comes.
The grab is online. It locks up a lot of members of Savannah Soyboys right now, and on the back of this, it looks like they are going to start taking this control of this objective once again.
Matching these percentages, Vaporeon gets that last kill onto Zool. I like this aggressive stance from here. Vaporeon almost with another Deadeye ready to go. They're going to have to be careful, though. There is quite a bit to either displace them or CC them out of it. Hot Dog takes out Frank right away, though.
Hot Dog is frying people right now on that Zarya. A lot is charged, making sure they're doing a lot of damage. Vaporeon pops the Deadeye, but they can't find any victims. The Immortality Field came out just a little bit late from Alex Yoshi, so Vaporeon is vaporized. And now with Kumis coming with a Death Blossom online, but Frank goes for the Shadow, but they get booped back, so that goes directly into walls. But Kumis gets into the back, takes out both supports for Savannah Soyboys. And that is going to be just a disaster for Savannah as it's now in overtime, and I don't know if anyone can touch.
I don't think so. Yeah, and that's going to be a fast 2-0 on Oasis for El Paso E-Daters. Oof, that last Death Blossom really sealed the deal.
Play of the game.
Kumis has been doing work with that Reaper. And like you mentioned, that last ultimate there was beautiful. We're seeing a play of the game here from Hot Dog, that Graviton Surge that was able to neutralize a lot of members of Savannah. And then just the follow-up coming with all that charge. Zarya is so good at doing a lot of damage once they're, fully charged.
Becomes so dangerous. I'd say a pretty convincing win on Oasis for them. They're going to have, Savannah's going to have to make some changes here if they want to come back and win this second map.
Yeah, I gotta say, watching that, it was really fast-paced. There wasn't really a lot of downtime between these fights. You did mention that was a fast duo, but I feel like that was, at least on the second point, it was pretty close. Shout out to, I guess, El Paso for playing this Roadhog Orisa comp there on City Center, especially into a Pharah and then Echo, and they made it work. So they were just confident playing that, and it looked cool.
It always shows when a team is comfortable on certain picks like that Roadhog Orisa, that even when other teams are playing counters against them, and they can still pull through.
It's huge, and I think they did a nice job of taking that space, spreading out and offering up those, little off angles. And, as an Orisa, it's kind of hard to take all that space at once. They managed to pull it off, putting so much pressure on that Vaporeon especially was able to just stand up there and just free shoot.
Yeah, I do think, I think Savannah can do better than this. I know some of their players. I know Flaws as a DPS player. He's kind of more known for his Hanzo play, so I kind of want to see him play that hero maybe next map. he definitely is known to just pull off these crazy plays every now and then. He did have some shining moments here, getting that headshot, for example, there on Kippis there on what was it, University. I think this can be anyone's game here. Like you said, it was a close it was like a fast 2-0 there. It was really close though, so this might go to a map 3.
Yeah, you mentioned it's close, and also that's the beauty of a first to 3, right? If Savannah's able to come back and take this next map, then they're right back in it. It's a whole new ball game. Winner takes all in that third map. So it's, even though that was a 2-0 on the first map for El Paso, if this next map goes back to Savannah, we could be looking at a whole new game.
And I think Savannah has all the pieces there. There's a lot of bright spots, a lot of highlights coming out from them. There's a real chance this goes to a map 3.
Yeah, Havana, certainly a map that we have seen a lot in this World Cup, especially last weekend. It's kind of been like the go-to map for a lot of teams. I remember seeing Dorado maybe once. Oh wait, no, it's actually Eichenwald. Who said Havana?
I was saying Savannah.
Oh, it's Savannah. Okay, sorry. I completely misunderstood that. Well, yeah. What am I saying? It's Hybrid next, so we're gonna go to Eichenwald. Also a map we've seen a lot. A map that you can definitely play Pharaoh on. A map that you can play Double Shield. Certainly, we saw some Orisa from El Paso here, so this could be something they could try again. They are attacking first though, so I don't think they're gonna try it here. Looks like they are opting for maybe more of a rush comp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Frank,
looks like we're gonna get rush comps on both sides.
Yeah, the Reinhardt can be so strong on this map, especially on this first point, that first choke. The Rein shield can be something that can really be leaned on to either get you through or hold on, depending on if you're attacking or defending.
It's going to be key here. It's going to come down. Well, we're looking at basically mirrors for both teams here. So it's going to be Hot Dog and Pika Bandito as the real difference here for composition. So I am very interested to see how this is going to work out. A little bit more brawly coming out from the E-Daters.
And they are getting right into it, right through the first choke, as Savannah took a little bit more of a defensive position. And now they backed off, and Zool is able to find some value in that as they took down Hyojan on the opposite McCree, and now Milky Boy getting into the backline with a charger, able to take down Drilliver, and with Hot Dog getting into the action as well. It looks like El Paso's going to come right through. They have to get around the May wall, make sure that the remaining members that are still pushing through onto this point don't get split off. And now they are in there, and this real battle begins on the objective.
It was a great rotation from Milky Boy, and it just seemed like no one had really noticed from Savannah that they had gone around here. And again, so now we have the McCree just in the back line here.
Getting sneaky, throws the flash fan out, but it looks like McMeem on the May was able to get into their cryogenic freeze just in time to stay alive. And now they are coming back with the counter punch. Savannah making sure that no tick was given up in that first attack coming in from El Paso. And that's a great start for them here in Eichenwald.
Zool ready with the Deadeye, so they're going to be coming into that, as well as, both support ults almost up, Blizzard almost up, Frank has that Shatter ready to go. A lot of tools available for both teams here. Hot Dog could turn this on its head with a grab. Oh, not with the floor going down.
Yeah, it looks like Windows came out right away from both sides and Immortality Field, so the Baptiste on both ends throwing in all the extra sustainability that they can. Now the sound barrier comes out as well from CO, but they get taken down for their troubles, and Mazul getting into the backline, taking down Pyojin. That is going to be another one fight coming in from Savannah, and they are looking so very strong on the start of defense.
Two really solid defense coming out here from Savannah, and they are going to need all of it here as a Blizzard comes out from McMeem.
McMeem making it a winter wonderland here in Germany on Eichenwald, as they are able to get two with the Blizzard, and now with the follow-up coming through on the Deadeye. Zool's able to get two on the back of that ultimate as well. McMeem finds a nice icicle, a little bit of brain feeders coming in from Spiros, and that will be another win coming in from Soyboys. And with a minute 30 left on the clock, we do have a pause here, but so far Soyboys is showing why Eichenwald was their pick.
Yeah, they're obviously feeling extremely confident and comfortable here on Eichenwald. Frank, with another shatter here ready to go. Drilliver has that window almost ready here, and that's going to be, you know, almost all of it for ultimate abilities. Alex Yoshi has another window of their own, and that's going to be it. El Paso used, you know, Hot Dog had that grab out. That's a big ultimate to use there. McMean managed to kind of negate a lot of the effects of it, though, with the Blizzard.
With a minute 15 left on the clock now, as the time is dwindling down second by second, this might be the last good fight that El Paso has time for. Going again for the rotation on the right, and the window comes up right away from both Baptiste, both of them on the same page right now. A huge shatter comes in from Frank, absolutely massive. They go over the edge in the end, but it doesn't matter. Soyboys is just walking through on the back of a huge earth shatter coming in from Frank.
Just massive there, and so they are going to get, well, I think, probably one more full fight here, just by virtue of how fast that last one was. Zul coming up on the Deadeye with Seal CEO on the beat as well, and that's kind of it. E-Daters have nothing really to work with for this last attack.
It's going to be rough. Immortality Field comes out early from Drill Rival, and it's not enough to keep their team alive as Melky Boy is cleaning up on the Reinhardt as they find 3, and they are just causing terror on the point right now. Speedo's able to get in and finish off Pink Bandito, and that looks like it's going to be a first cap as nobody from El Paso died in that fight, and in the nick of time, they will take this objective and get that payload moving.
Just in time there, and the Savannah has really managed to take advantage of this. They've lost the point, but they were able to take this high ground very quickly for themselves. So it's going to put them in a real advantageous position to start off this next fight.
100%. As we saw on Hollywood early today, high ground can be such an advantage with the extra elevation that you get. And Pyrogen's back on the Doomfist, and they punch Drill Driver into the next life. Or Drilliver, sorry, into the next life, and now getting into the back and taking down McMean. The Doomfist looks like a good pick so far from Pyrogen as they have to get out of dodge, and that allows the rest of the team to follow in with that distraction and take down the rest of Savannah. So now a little bit of momentum swinging back in the favor of El Paso.
I think this Doomfist was likely a pick to get back in the fight quickly, but Pyrogen is just finding so much value from it. 2 quick kills to displace them from the high ground. Here comes the Deadeye from Zul to start things off.
Zul starting out right away. They weren't able to find Pyrogen, but they do get them in the end. Pyrogen was able to trade that back out by taking out Seal, so the Lucio, that healing, that speed, all of academic issue right now as it has been deleted from the fight. Pink Bandito getting in there with the micro missiles, finishing off Alex Yoshi. And now Azul finding some shots, and with the help of the sound barrier coming in from Seal, who got back into the fight quickly on that Lucio. It looks like Soyboys could still hold on here with the payload where it is. They will have a little bit of a spawn advantage. Pyrogen trying to get back in on the Doomfist. This time whiffed on the punch, and they paid for it immediately. Hot Dog trying to do as much damage as they possibly can on the Zarya, fully charged, but aren't able to finish anything off, as it looks like the E-Daters are a little bit split up right now, and they are electing to group up for one last fight.
Hot Dog had a little bit of a chance there, but unfortunately, just no one from their team, everyone had been sent back to spawn at that time. Zul and McMean both have their ultimates available, and with this Blizzard, this is the real key one here. We're going to be looking at McMean, no Diva on the side of El Paso to eat this. This could really shut down if they're not able to make this Deadeye from Spyros really work for them.
And it's a good old-fashioned showdown at the OK Corral as both Deadeyes come out, and Spiros finds the better in that battle, and a huge meteor strike coming in from Pyrogen gets 2. Obi-Wan in there with the boot, finishes off Frank, and once again, with no time left on the clock, El Paso is going to survive by the skin of their teeth. And even with the spawn advantage that Savannah Soyboys has right now, it's not going to matter. That's going to be another point for El Paso as they get checkpoint B.
This was huge. Such a nice play from Pyrogen, sorry. And just, they weren't able, as you were saying, to grab that McCree, but taking the Lucio out early there just was everything for them. And they do get McMean.
Iogen is an absolute monster on this Doomfist right now, as you mentioned, they finish up McMean as well, and that buys so much space for the rest of the team to walk forward. And now with Hot Dog getting back into the action with the Zarya, they are going to keep pushing forward. There's still a minute left on the clock, but the payload is rounding that last turn, getting very close to the end. There's going to be one recontest, you got to think, coming back in here for Savannah, but this could be the end if they aren't able to repel the attackers on this next fight.
Drilliver had used that window a little bit early there.
Biogen.
Biogen
you
gives that seal
absolute
seal.
They're able to get two. The self-destruct did come over the top. Mika Bandito's able to get one back with the remake, but it might not be enough as Milky Boy and Biogen again on the Doomfist, causing absolute havoc, getting in, and with Pika Bandito finally taking down Alex Yoshi, that is a lot of sustainability for El Paso out of the fight. Primaling Winston from Milky Boy on the point, trying to buy that extra little bit. The payload only needs to go 3 meters to get it in there. Speed runs back on the McCree, finding some shots with the Peacekeeper, and now Milky Boy gets back, stomps down Zool, finishes off that Tracer. McBeam has to stay inside that Immortality field as they got very low down on HP, and now the overtime wick is burning, and McBeam gets into the back with the Doom finishes off Spearows, and this will be the final fight. Window coming out in the backline from Drilliver, and that could be the end as they're using that extra damage to finally secure some eliminations against El Paso, as Frank's able to find 2 on the Reinhardt, and now with Pika Bandito taking 1 down. That's going to be round 1 complete. A very nice hold in the end for Savannah, as they're only going to limit El Paso to 2 points here in Eichenwald.
You have to still be happy with an attack from El Paso. They finished the first 2 points basically in overtime. So, you know, getting it to the end, or just about to the end, you're happy with that. However, Savannah has really set them up a really nice win condition here. Some really big hero plays coming in the end. If they just keep playing their game, I think Savannah has a real chance to make this a 1-1 game.
And that will be pivotal, as it is a 1-2. If El Paso are able to hold Savannah to less of a payload push than they were able to make on their attack, they are going to take this match and move on in the tournament. So Savannah has to come out swinging here and really push the pace if they want to catch El Paso by surprise.
And it's going to be all about pace for this. They need this attack to be fast and furious. They cannot get held up the same way that El Paso did. You know, losing all of this time, finishing these points off with no time left.
5, 4.
For sure, and this is going to be an absolutely crucial first fight. It can really set Savannah up for success if they can pull in some momentum right away and get onto the attack. However, the opposite can be true. If they get stuck like El Paso did, they can really lose a lot out of that time bank. So Frank is trying to get in there quickly. Both runners trying to swing around the corner, mitigate the damage with the use of cover. McMean's able to find the first pick onto Pyogen, so that is a good look for the defense right now on the front foot. A freeze and fire strike comes in, and that finishes off Milky Boy. So Milky Boy, sorry. So Savannah getting right onto the point here, and they are going to start getting this cap going. And now that they finish off Speed Roast and Hot Dog, it's going to be a first and a very quick take for Savannah. A little bit of a contest coming in here from the Doomfist, but that will be short-lived. The payload's going to get moving in with 5:40 on the clock. That is a perfect first fight coming in from Savannah.
This is exactly what they needed. They had a little bit of momentum coming out of that third point, managing to hold El Paso, you know, just short. That can be absolutely devastating here. I like the wall here, forcing El Paso back as well.
It will buy some free push for Savannah, as right now El Paso wants to disengage and not deal with the extra damage coming out from the amplification matrix that was popped up top by Drilliver. And now once again the fight is cracking on the point, and it looks like Milky Boy was pinned and immediately taken down with the combination of the freeze. And once again Frank is free and clear to swing as much as they possibly can, and that's exactly what they're doing. And with Hot Dog right behind them, this is a great fight coming in from El Paso, as they are able to turn this around, get their defense going a little bit here with some of stabilization.
Mika Bandito, bit of a hero play, grabbing Hot Dog's grab. Are they going to be able to turn this around with a Blizzard and the Deadeye both come out from Savannah?
And they use a sand barrier from Seal as well to try and recontest it very quickly, and it might have caught El Paso off guard, as it looked like it might have been a waste of a couple ults there, as they were down a couple members, but they are able to translate that into a team fight win here and get this payload going across the bridge, and we're getting close to the end of point B here with still a lot of time in the time bank, but this is not a place you want to get stuck if you're Soyboys.
Frank has this Earth Shatter ready to go, and here it comes.
And it went in there, but some of that was negated by McMean throwing up a very nice ice wall coming in, and now Frank trying to swing away and get through. Both windows are out. A very nice placement coming in there from Alcioshi, but it's not enough. The window is actually a little bit too high, and now that second point is taken, and Soyboys are sitting pretty right now. They still have 5 minutes left on the clock to take most of point speed.
Iogen was really making it work with this Doomfist. I think when you're on the attack, they're able to set those engages. It just they don't seem to be finding it here on the defense. Maybe just not getting enough out of it as the bomb comes in. Only finds the immortality field though.
The immortality field is down, which means there is less sustainability right now for the defenders. Hot Dog once again just trying to burn people down with his Zarya, but they get burned down first. McMean's able to finish them off. And now the huge Deadeye coming in from Zool. That's 2 more. And this looks like it's all over. But the crying as Savannah's going to take this, get the objective in, and tie this match up.
Really convincing attack there from Savannah. Maybe they just had a little bit of sleep in their eyes for that first map. A very different looking team though on Eichenwald.
Yeah, it's like Jekyll and Hyde, and that time the monster came out on Eichenwald and did so much work. We're seeing the shatter from Milky Boy. What a play. The Milky Boy looks so good on that Reinhardt in that last round.
Yeah, it's I don't know whether it was the shot calling or just a different communication. Everyone seemed to come alive towards the end of that, and Milky Boy especially finding a ton of value on that Reinhardt. A couple huge shatters for them.
Yeah, huge is almost an understatement. Monumental, gargantuan, Herculean. You could use a ton of different platitudes to describe those shatters.
I gotta say, I really love the name McMeme. I just have to say that. That's such a cool name. I wish I was this cool when I came up with my online name all these years ago. But he's been performing really well here, coming in on this map too. I also got some interesting information here. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but like I've been told that Milky Boy, the main tank for El Paso, apparently he doesn't really play Overwatch. They just kind of brought him in and told him to play in this tournament. So they're just kind of telling him what to do here when he plays main tank. Like, we're gonna ask them later if that's true, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like he's really that like underperforming here. He's kind of like, you saw him. He got the play of the game here. He got some huge shadows there in the beginning. He's been playing pretty well.
If this is indeed his first time playing Overwatch, my hat's off to them, because that is crazy.
Also, I'm quitting Overwatch.
I was told he's an MMO player, but maybe Twitch chat is just trolling me. I don't know.
I mean,
yeah,
that would be
yeah.
that would be the first time ever Twitch chat has trolled someone.
Oh yeah,
That's
for
true.
sure, absolutely.
They're pretty dependable.
But yeah, it looks like we're going into a map 3, which is exactly what I wanted, because I feel like both these teams can go toe to toe here. We'll see if maybe we get some swaps in again, but who do you guys has the upper edge in this? I don't even know what the third map type will be, but who do you guys think can take it home here?
Well, Aegis, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna stick with my pick from the start before we started and say Savannah's gonna take this one. I really think they can feed off the momentum they got after a great showing on Eichenwald.
From a map to map, I'm gonna say Savannah's definitely coming in here with an edge. There's a ton of momentum behind that. However, I'm just gonna stick with my pick. I feel bad swapping picks here, and if I'm right, then I'm gonna go up 2-0 on our BPL predictions.
Yeah, you're going to definitely widen that gap very quickly if they keep letting me predict things.
I'm saying Savannah if they keep McMeme in. That's my prediction here.
I like that. And McMeme, hell of a name, hell of a player. Like the showing they had on the May on that last round was sublime.
Yeah, so it looks like map 3 is going to be Havana, finally an escort map, and I guess I can say it again what I wanted to say earlier. Havana, a map that we've seen a lot in this World Cup. A lot of teams have been playing it. We've also seen a lot of different styles. We've seen double bubble, we've seen like Simbrush with TPs, we've seen a lot of Farracoms, double sniper, double shield. Looking at these teams and what they've been playing so far, I can't really tell you what we're going to see here, but it should be interesting. I'm hoping maybe some Farracoms here, because I personally like seeing Farah. But yeah, looks like we're going to go into it soon, so I'm going to give it back to you guys, and I'll be back after the game.
Thank you once again, Jimmy. And this is honestly like must-see Overwatch at this point after how these two teams played the first two maps. First map going to El Paso E-Daters on Oasis. Second map going to Savannah Soyboys on Eichenwald. And now we are going to get the rubber match and see who can take this one as we head to Havana.
I really like Havana as a map, except for the third point. It's that first one has these really nice long sight lines down this initial street, and then things get a little tighter coming into the distillery, and then they open back up on the third point. So you can run quite a bit of different comps here. But I wouldn't be surprised to see teams swapping their compositions throughout the map. This is definitely a map that will reward flexibility, especially as we're seeing again from El Paso the Orisa Hog. So Orisa comps on both sides. And it looks like almost a mirror here with the double sniper with Obi-Wan on the Mercy and Smart HD kind of following things up with this Zen on the other side.
And this could be a very entertaining map coming up here with the double snipers coming out from both ends. I know Jimmy mentioned earlier that he wanted to see flaws on the Hanzo, and they are going to get that wish now. But Zool's able to get the first pick on the Kumis. However, that does get resurrected immediately by Obi-Wan. And now this fight is popping off. Flaws trying to do a lot of damage to the shield here. Get that out of the way. But Zool is getting Melky Boy out of the way, but finds another shot with the Widowmaker, and then Vaporeon trades that back by asserting dominance on that Widowmaker roll. And now we have a hands of 1v1 going. Flaws is down to 5 HP, has to back up, wait for a little bit of healing. Hasn't got it quite yet, but the rest of their team is cleaning up for them as Drilliver getting in there and taking down Kumis. And that is going to be a good start to the defense once again for Savannah.
Savannah finding so much success on these defense. Usually you'll see a team do really well in the defense and then completely fall apart in the offense, but they've managed to hold on to this offense as well, which is really key in Eichenwald, and a nice hook from Hot Dog.
E-Daters is back to that Orisa Roadhog combination that they had on the first map on Oasis on City Center. And now with the Dragons coming out from Kumis, that's going to force out a Transcendence in kind from Smart HD, and Zool pops walls as well. So a little bit of an advantage coming out, and Flaws is using that advantage well, gets 2 headshots, takes out both snipers. That's a bit of a sniper dip. Obi-Wan's able to get a resurrection onto one of them. And now with Hot Dog throwing down a melee kill, and now the whole hog as well. They are looking to get right back in this fight. El Paso still trying to push forward. Smart HD trying to find a volley from the backlines, isn't able to finish anyone off. And once again, Soyboys has more or less stabilized here and getting ready and are ready for another fight.
Smart D is really taking the sight lines away from Vaporeon, and I really like it. Flaws all with 2.
Flaws with 3. And now Zool getting into the action. Flaws is cracked on this Hanzo, finishing off Melky Boy as well. Now there's only a minute 30 left on the clock. Soyboys is looking so crisp after that first map. They've looked so good.
We were told that Flaws on the Hanzo was nothing to scoff at, and we are finding out. And so is El Paso. This has been so rough for them. Oh no! Kumi's dropped as they come around the corner here, taking full advantage of Zul's infrasight.
Flaws, you absolute beauty on this Hanzo. You are just ruining other people's dreams right now. As El Paso has to get back in, there is only a minute remaining. Hot Dog tries to engage with the kinetic grasp, loses their shield very quickly, trying to get around to an off angle, do a little bit of damage, but Flaws is just going crazy. There are no flaws with Flaws right now. RHD is able to get in there and take down Vaporeon with a headshot. So a lot of crits coming out. Flaws, just stop it. This is getting ridiculous. Finding all the kills that they would ever need right now. And this is going to be so tough for this last fight as Pika Bandito threw up a gravitic flux there. And this is going to be the last fight unless E-Daters can go all the way through and get point A.
Ooh, Flaws does have that Dragon Strike ready to go, and Drilliver with a window too. Frank throws out the bongo immediately, and here comes the dragons as well.
El Paso is going to have to walk into the extra damage coming in from those fun drums, and the continuous transcendence and amplification movements both come out at the same time from Savannah. So it looks like Alcio is just going to answer with an damage because their own. It's not going to do it. It looks like Flaws and Frank getting back in. Zul, they're all using the window. What a window that comes out from Drilliver there, and that will be overtime going away. An amazing hold coming up from Soyboys, and they are so close to flipping and taking this match.
We did say it before, the way the control points go isn't always a predictor of the way the rest of the map, where the rest of the match will go. Savannah has really convincingly taken Eichenwalde, and this hold is absurd here on Havana.
It's otherworldly right now, and such a clear win condition coming in from Savannah on the offense. They only need to push the payload 60 meters approximately to get it in and take this win 2-1, as this is a 1-3 match. So I wouldn't be surprised here if El Paso decides to go with that forward hold right up at the spawn boards and try as best they can to earn as much space as possible, because they have to hold for a long time. And mentally, it's tough knowing that glowing golden box of victory is right behind you.
I'm surprised we are not seeing MA come out here from El Paso. This is a map that definitely rewards that close hold that you were talking about. You could eat a ton of time off of the attack. It seems like they're going to potentially go for it just without the May, which I find a little strange. No, they're not going for a close hold. They're going for a sneaky hold. Nope. They're back to a close hold.
They showed sneaky, but they decided to go with close. And this first fight is going to start obviously right away. And Zul gets the first pick onto Kumi's. That could spell disaster for the defenders. And Zul finds two. Zul saw what Flaws did in the last round in the hands of this and wait, I can shoot people too. And are crushing on this Widowmaker. Pulls out the Widow 76 to finish off Obi-Wan. And this payload is going to go very quickly. And this could be all but over. It's going to be so hard to defend as they finally take down Melky Boy and get this payload moving. It looks like with the amount they have to push this payload, there will be one recontest coming in from El Paso.
This is going to be rough, with Savannah able to take every bit of high ground, every advantageous position. There's not a ton that you can do here. And with Vaporeon, they're on this fire, which is a bit of a dangerous proposition going into Zul's Widow. They're having to hide, real close to the building.
Right now, Zul trying to find some shots, trying to take a bit of an off angle here. Get off to the side. A nice Bionade came out as well. And Frank gets the first pick onto Vaporeon, so that Farah is out of the fight. They don't have to look up in the sky. They can focus all their attention straight ahead. And that's exactly what they're doing as Pink Bandito finishes off Obi-Wan. Dragon Strike comes out from Floss, and they are getting Kumi's very low, but the Reaper is taken down. And now with Pika Bandito getting back into the backline, there just wasn't enough to contest from El Paso, and Savannah Soyboys are going to take the match 2-1.
Absolutely massive play there from Flaws. We're going to get to watch some of it again here. I have a feeling throughout this tournament, we're going to see a lot of Flaws.
like I said before, Flaws just had no flaws on that last map. They were hitting every shot they needed to hit and then some. It was just masterful Hanzo play coming out. I can only play like Hanzo like that in my dreams.
Yeah, and it, like, honestly, if that, it's that was absolutely bizarre to watch. Flaws completely took over that game. They had nowhere to go. There was so much pressure coming in from that Hanzo. There was no space to take.
Yeah, you know, going into this one, I said I wanted to see flaws on Hanzo because I know he's pretty good on that hero, and I was not disappointed. He was just absolutely popping off on that map. But also Zul, also I get a shout out to him on the Widow. They were just like, they were holding it down here on the double sniper comp here, and looked really impressive here on Havana, and that means they're going to move on to our next round of the upper bracket, and they're going to face Team Nordic / Northeast, Erlinga, or whatever they're called. And El Paso, you know, also a pretty good performance from them, but they're going to move to a lower bracket, and they're actually going to face the winner of our next match, which will be Burnz and Beast versus California. So, how do you guys think this match was? Like, was it exciting? Was it close?
I mean, I had a blast watching this map. We were kind of worried after the first map where Savannah kind of stumbled out of the gate, didn't look so good, and you were worried that maybe they were going to have a tough time with it today. And then they just turned on the Jets, looked a lot better, and Eichenwald were able to take that map and then just completely shut it down on Havana.
Yeah, real afterburners came up on Havana. It looked like it was swinging pretty wildly during the first two maps, and it really just seemed like Savannah needed a bit of a warm-up map, and once that happened, it was lights out all the way through the rest.
Cool. Well, it looks like we're gonna get the DPS duo from map 3 here, Flaws and Zul from Savannah here. Hey you two, how you guys feeling? Zul, how big's your ego right now after that map?
I honestly decided to stop sucking after Ike, and then they just started walking in a line, and I pressed the funny M1 button.
That was a masterful DPS performance coming out from both of you. Well done. Flaws on the Hanzo, you know, Zul on the Wid. That was beautifully played.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Now you're both representing, both representing a region here that made it pretty far last week. You know, I think Florida, they finished 3rd place, if I'm not correct. So do you think you guys can recreate that success, maybe even go even further?
I kind of want to win out of spite of Recurve showing up for Texas and not Florida. So
yeah,
I want to bring it all the way.
We need to shove it in his face.
Are we going to see more Hanzo from your Flaws? That's the most
Of course. Probably not, unless we keep picking Havana. But my Hanzo kind of have me on the locked May, you know, kind of unfortunate.
We did see you play a lot of comms, like on all 3 maps. Like you played some Double Shield, you played some Pharah, some Echo, you played Rush on Eichenwald. Was this all like comms that you guys planned beforehand, or was this just something where you saw like what El Paso was playing and you were like, hey, we could play this to counter them? Like, what was your plan going into this match?
Everything else was already decided, and we just started adapting to what they were playing, especially on Ike with that Doom. We weren't really used to it, so we had to adapt like mid-round to counter, and it worked.
Cool. Well, my final question would be, you guys are going to face Erlinga, which is Team Nordic / Northeast in the next round. You guys got any plans going into that game? Have you guys looked at the scrims? Have you guys scrimmed them before? How do you think you're going to do in that match?
We haven't scrimmed them yet, but after today, I think that we have a pretty good shot at going at them. Just based off of what we just did, I think that another reverse sweep is in the books.
Awesome. Well, Ageless Newbie, you guys have some questions? Nope.
I'm good. I got nothing. I'm still left speechless from that last map. You guys crushed it.
Yeah, it was certainly a good DPS
I think you're gonna be fine.
for me too. Well, I'm gonna say thanks to Flaws and Zul for coming here. Wish you guys best of luck in your next game. I want to see some more Hanzo personally, but you guys do you. And yeah, I think it was a pretty strong performance from you here. I think we found one of the favorites here in this tournament for sure. But with that, we're gonna head to a break here soon. We got one more match left here, and it's actually gonna be a really spicy one because it's gonna be our first elimination match in the lower bracket. It's both teams we've seen already today. Well, one of them on this stream, and the other team was on the B stream. It's gonna be Burnz and the Bees, who get their second chance at maybe getting a win here tonight. And they're gonna go up against California, which is Team California. So don't miss it. We'll be back soon right after this.
Welcome to the BPL World Cup.
Oh my god, it's a fire game impersonator with a pulse bomb!
But Sage is on mustard, and all of a sudden this is anybody's fight. Drift difference are still in it. Massive pulse bomb from Sage! What is that? Sage clutching it up.
Lennox holding onto the barrage, gets 3, Sunny from behind with 3 with a huge barrage, taking a crazy off angle once again. There's a lot of ults, there's a lot of colors, but it doesn't matter because it's just going to be a massive high noon from Yancha.
But Signet hits another massive shatter. Oh my lord. He's so good. He's just so good.
A pretty big flux. The trance is there to keep the team alive. Oh, the bombs, the bombs.
Oh my god!
Wings, they got some wind missiles as well. They got grab coming in, will land perfectly, and the windows fly through in terms of damage.
That's a 4K in that Nitro. I've absolutely insane. Pomku with the 6K.
And we're back, everyone, for our final match of the day. I'm still your host, Jimmy, but I got 2 new casters here. It's Salsa and Worst. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Great. Yeah.
So we do have 1 match left, and this one's actually going to be really interesting because this is our first and only elimination match of the day. Because of our bracket being a little weird from the odd number of teams that we have, we actually have both these teams here who have already played today. They're going to fight for their survival here. It's both teams who have not won a single map yet today. So they're really going to be fighting for it all. We have Burnz and the Bees, which is Atlantic B team, versus Pacifornia Palms, which is the California B team. Not gonna lie, there's 2 people on this cast right now who are Atlantic players, so we're gonna be a little bit biased, but who do you guys think has the upper hand in this match?
So, I mean,
yeah. You can go, Salsa.
My brain tells me, I think that the combination of the players on Atlantic can do it. And then the small little part of me in the back of my mind is like, no. Atlantic's just destined to be eliminated first each time. But at the same time, I think you have a lot more notable names from A League and B League, from like Season 2 and Sub 23 and 4 on Atlantic. And I think that might be able to come together to bring out this one match to win the maps they need to move on. I don't really see that as much from California. I look at it, I can recognize off the top of my head 3 names. But that is just because I haven't really watched a ton of their scrims, so I don't actually know that much.
Okay. Well, as the other representative Atlantic simp that is on this cast along with Jimmy here, my heart really does want to say Burnz and the Bees, and I do look at this roster and I think they definitely can do it. They also have Burnz, so as long as that guy isn't on the team, on the server actually, then we should be good. But yeah, I'm looking at the team. I think we have a pretty strong roster here, and I think we should be able to hand it out. Earlier, they had a little bit of a slip up on those maps. They could have won the rounds and even won the maps as a whole, but a little bit of slip up at the end. But that's my heart. And then I kind of think about it and think, how legendary would it be if both the Atlantic A and Atlantic B team speed ran elimination? That's all I'm gonna say. Not a single map, and we just speed ran elimination both times.
Yes, that was our plan all along.
Yeah, that was our plan all along, to set records in terms of just speed running elimination. I actually really do think Burnz and the Bees, I would favor them in this match.
We saw Burnz
but
play,
the memes cannot be overstated.
Yeah, we saw Burnz and the Bees play earlier, and honestly, they looked pretty good. Like I said, or like you said already, they were like 90% good. Like the first 90% of the map, they played really good, and then they just kind of like they couldn't close it off. Like on Control, they were really good. They held the point until overtime, and then they lost it. And on Hollywood, they had like a 5-minute time bank to capture for it, and they just couldn't. Like if they just get that last 10%, then I think they can have the upper hand here. And Pacifornia, I don't really know much about them because I haven't seen their game on the B stream. I know their roster pretty well. It's a lot of B League and British Brawl players. We also have a Sub 24 champion on this team with Brow Daddy. I love their branding. It's probably my favorite branding this World Cup, but you know, I'm an Atlantic player at heart, so I'm gonna go with Burnz and the Bees here.
I mean, I think that problem of not being able to close it out might be less of an issue here. And I think, while absolutely not choking away the map is very important. I think you have to give it that they have the 90%, and that is at least a progress, especially coming down to an elimination match where you're going to give it your all just to climb whatever you can. So I think that Atlantic have the slight edge as we hop into Ilios here. But I think it is up in the air. And it'll be a very good game.
Yeah, and speaking of a good game, we are hopping in to Ilios here. The map that both of these teams played earlier, both of them lost on those two maps, of course. But we're going to get a chance. This is going to be their second time today seeing this map. Let's see if they can swap up the strategy here. See maybe if they can take this one. A little bit of a slower rollout there from Azzy, but he will be going into that Echo as that Pharah. So a little bit of a different tempo from these two teams.
I mean,
it's
the same. It's the same composition. You have aerial and you have like sneaky spy kind of group, but you have the Tracer and the Echo, which I think is slightly more effective. But it's getting the job done for Burnz and the V's. Just finding the picks they need and cleaning up the fight. They drop chicken, but that is about it, as they can take first cap.
Yeah, and it's really gonna see here what Burnz can do with this Pharah. It's going to be a lot slower. Like you said, they're very similar compositions, but of course that Pharah Sombra is just a little bit slower than that Echo and Tracer, but in the longer fights, they can get a little bit more value there. And that's going to be how they're going to look for it here. As the Echo going forward, trying to burst down Azzy, but they cannot quite find the kill on him. The D.Va going for that Ana is slept up. The same cannot be said as Chicken Nugget for Bunny, as Chicken Nugget does push forward and find the opposing Ana. Both Anas are taken out here, and Chicken's going down low on this point. Doesn't have that primal edge to keep him up, obviously, only that second fight. And even with these reses coming out, the kill feed just looks so in Pachafornia's favor, and they will be cleaning up this fight.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that just kind of being able to pull out the res while also forcing the trade on the Anas and then immediately taking out Chicken is just a really nice tempo advantage for California, and it just is resulted in a fight win, and they now have a little bit of an ultimate advantage. I mean, here comes, like, they have all their ultimates already online. Burnz and Means they're about to come online. Browdy going down is a nice pickoff, a good way to start the fight, but here comes the chaos. All the supports are dead. Keith is still alive, just barely holding on, and they do get the reflip, and it's just Eli against the world here. And we'll have to get out.
Yeah, and I mean, look at these ultimate banks here. You have 6 ults here available for Burnz and the Bees. You have very similar numbers for Pachafornia, no trace.
The only ult was the pulse bomb, and 50% to that, and that grinds incredibly quickly. So it's basically a 12 ult engagement here.
Yeah, and I mean, looking forward here, the Echo going for that duel against that Pharah, finding a lot of that damage. The Amplifying Beam doesn't quite find the threshold of HP they look for as the EMP does come out. Finds the 4 people, but the Valkyrie did go off right before the EMP. That allows them to keep that Ana up even through that no abilities being used because of that amplified healing from Valkyrie. And now this point will just be a cleanup with that Echo ultimate again. That basically 3 or 4 lives that it can give you on that Echo is just so strong, combined with 2 very good ultimates. And now that should be the point flipping over. And this has been very back and forth so far, with just trading back each fight.
Absolutely, you see as Jazzy swapping over to the Echo to try to mirror that, and it's 3 ults to 3 ults. But I think the fact that you still have your nano boost is kind of key instead of the pulse bomb. But it doesn't really matter because it's just you have to take so much time to get Azzy just in position, and Azzy's already dead. So this is already just not a great start to this fight, and looks to be a pretty quick reset.
I mean, look at where Keith was in that fight. I mean, by the cliff. That's not normally where that Ana is, and that's because all of that kind of primaling displacement from Cybeam just puts him so far out of position, combined with the fact that Clockwise basically wins the 1v1 as he's not really paying attention to the opposing Echo and just gets taken out. I want to see what they can change up in this fight.
Absolutely. I mean, 10% left is all you get, so it's not really a changed up. It's how can you just eke out a small advantage just by being down, and Azzy going down again is not going to help that out. You can't even get this res, and Burnz is down too. And yeah, they don't even touch. Just brutal.
That's a little interesting because Chicken Nugget did have that primal rage, which is a lot of times guaranteed point touch in a lot of ways, especially when there's nothing to really stop him outside of maybe a diva there, no Sombra.
I think I might have been asleep, but
maybe they got
slept. It doesn't really matter, like, either way. Unfortunately, with your Echo and your Mercy down, you're not winning that fight because you only had primal rage. That's it.
You never know. Things can go crazy. Things can get a little bit wacky sometimes.
I think you need to go one step above wacky to win
group
that.
Chat is pretty chat is wild, but I mean, look, similar compositions for both sides again. Just kind of doing the same thing, but Sombra versus Tracer. What do you think about that?
I think I like the Sombra a bit. I liked it more on the last map than I do this map because you have, like, there's more space to play with the EMP. Here you just have a giant pit that takes up a lot of the volume of the EMP on point. So I think you lose a lot of it, and you don't get as much damage output. And you see that a bit right now as they're getting a quick ticket straight back to spawn.
And something I've noticed from both of these teams, a little bit of an interesting thing, is that both these teams are treating their flex supports as punching bags, basically, for the enemy team. Not a lot of peel coming out from either side here, not even with their Mercies. A lot of it is being focused into those DPS, so I think that's interesting. Playing like your flex support is there to die and get the value out before they can die. But I mean, looking at this next fight, we are going to be looking here at Azzy Jazzy on this flank, trying to get a lot of damage out on this diva. Was hacked up, wasn't able to defend themselves, wasn't able to DM any of that damage. Now, the Tracer even themselves looking for it as we finally see some peel coming out. The Monkey will be jumping back to protect their honor here, but Keith is Keith is trying, but Clockwise will find him eventually with that amplifying beam and focusing beam, and now that's kind of the fight once again. 40% in ticking, and not much headway made there by Burnz and Bees.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I actually kind of do agree with you in the fact that there's not a lot of peel going on, and obviously it's B League, so peel is always going to be something that you want, but you're not always going to get. But I think it's interesting to see how you pointed out that it's usually the flex supports, and that they still want to put in such a high value pick like Ana, when you're not just going to get it. There's Bunny having to peel for themselves. Just get to sleep on the Sombra just to get the rest of the team back to try to pick them off, and forces the recall, or give me the
yeah, and this Echo going super deep here clockwise, but again, it's Echo. They have that second life. They're gonna try to be getting out, but there's just no way that Mercy can get you that far into the spawn. But again, they're fighting in this spawn, even if they manage to take these picks right now, right? And this bomb's gonna get a lot of damage. This bomb is gonna kill 4 people. Yeah, that's a massive bomb there from GoDaddy. There's nowhere to hide that close to the spawn. There's no way they could duck and cover.
Azzy versus the world just
and now Azzy might have just gotten the pick he needs, but I don't think
they get overtime. And the EMP gets 3. There's a shot.
EMP
it's
gets
going to take a miracle. Skybeam falls in the pit. No way.
So the DM comes out here as Keith finds a shot on the Eli. That's another pick going the way of Burnz and the Bees, something we wouldn't normally have seen. The bomb goes out a little bit too high, doesn't quite find anything, but the sleep on GoDaddy on the side leaves their Mercy exposed. That DM's gonna be a little bit too late, and even so, Chicken Nuggets, a Tesla cannon can go through that. And I mean, 99% is something you're happy with here if you're Patchifornia, but the round's not over yet, and anything can happen. But I mean, you don't have any else to cycle here if you're Burnz.
Yeah, I mean, you have to just grind it out much faster right now, or else you're gonna lose the battle of attrition because you cannot give up this point even once. Just can't afford it. But at the same time, you don't want to. If you're Patchifornia, you do not want to just try to use one ultimate just to win this battle, and that's gonna be the big thing that's gonna be big for Burnz and the Bees, is that if you just throw one in at a time, it might not make a big difference. Chicken Nugget God falling, though, means that you're going to lose a lot of your point presence, and this might be the go mode right now. try to win this
Bomber's
point.
going to come out and zone this point as he has to wait a second, but the Nano Boost comes out under the Mercy to prevent them from dying to Mr. Chip. A nice, actually, application of that Nano Boost, because if you lose your Mercy there, you might actually end up losing that fight. But it won't happen on their watches now. Shadow can actually get that Valkyrie off as well. All of this healing coming out onto this backline. No one is going to die here. And even then, once it gets good for them, they can switch over to that damage boost, and that's just so much damage. But Bunny does end up losing their life. Chicken Nugget finding a key pick here in these final moments. Will it be enough, as he doesn't have the resources to escape that situation alive, as now it's just time for Burnz and the Bees to try and stall up this point long enough for some mistakes to happen, maybe some picks to happen. The beat will be helping them to do that, but Keith Swag can't stay up too long enough, as now Chicken Nugget himself will also be losing his life. Skybeam is dead though, and the remake does come out. That's another big stalling moment that they cannot touch. That wind burns down just way too fast, and maybe they could have done something there, but it's still unlikely, and if they even left that for just a moment, the point would have gone down as we saw right there. That's brutal, honestly. As the Burnz types, was he not on point? No, he was not on point. No, you were not on point.
Yeah.
We're not on
I know
point.
he's gonna think like he's right again, but no, he's not.
Classic Burnz moment, though. Another classic.
Burnz moment, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you're right. Maybe we are going for the speed run here, like the double elimination percentage World Cup, first world first speed run here. You know, Burnz and Bees, they did have some shiny moments there towards the end, but they do have to do something here to crack this DPS line that Pachafornia has.
Yeah, and I made mention that if we could keep Burnz out of the server, basically, we would have a much stronger chance in it. Nothing to Burnz, love the men's, but kind of a curse, you know.
Damn,
the Burnz curse. We have to work around the curse, and unfortunately, it didn't occur there. But maybe they can make it come back on the next map. So, what are we interested?
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, I think Hybrid is a map type that they can try to make this comeback on. We know they had a 5-minute time bank when they played Hollywood last time. So I think it's just down to, can they then take some of the advantages that they've gotten in the past games and turn them in their favor now? Obviously, they didn't really get a whole lot advantage in this game. It was a lot of just very small positional and small compositional differences, and sometimes you just lose those.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference... Oh, sorry.
No, go.
I was gonna say, I think the biggest difference, or like why they couldn't capture Hollywood last time they were playing, is just I felt like some of their ult usage was a little questionable. Like they were sometimes like overlapping ults that they shouldn't have, or sometimes they didn't use ults that they should have used. It just felt like some of their coordination fell apart, which is weird because like the 5 minutes before that, they just looked excellent. They were just super aggressive. They were using their abilities, their ultimates really well. It just felt like maybe they got a little nervous at the end. So I hope they can pull it around here. I'm hoping for at least, at this point, you know what, I take small victories. I want at least one map win for Atlantic here at the World Cup.
I mean, I don't think that's a huge ask. I think it definitely is possible. I mean, I think it's still possible for them to win. I think they have the talent. They just have to put it together, and that is the difficulty of trying to find how to put that together. I think we're still waiting. I think on our map selection.
Yeah. And I do want to say something.
It is Hollywood. That is the map. Hollywood.
I do want to say something. As an Atlantic player on the A squad, we did go out first, and as someone who was on the team and knows what's going on, people are going to be hard on themselves. I even see it right now with Chicken Nugget in chat. He's getting hard on himself. I just don't want to see it or hear it from anyone from A or B squad, because knowing how it actually been, it's not the easiest thing to compete. And I mean, you come out and try to play your best, and I think that's what you got to do. And I mean, I still kind of pretty impressed with Burnz and the Bees in that last map. They did have some really good moments. A little bit, some small mistakes can lead to round loss, especially on control. But I just anyone that competes in any BPL team, if you're competing, just don't be too hard on yourself. You're coming out to compete, and sometimes things don't go their way, but you're still trying your best, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, we do get to see some of the compositions. Burn Curse is active, so
Of course, a
scared of
classic.
that.
A classic.
So we see kind of the standard kind of adjacent to the standard kind of brush composition coming out from Burnz of the Bees just to hold the point, which I like. And meanwhile, we have this kind of dive composition more so coming out from Patrifornia, with of course the Pharah. They really like this kind of aerial style of combat with the Pharmacy and the Ana backing it up. I think the grounded composition has a slight advantage as long as they don't get too bullied by this Pharah here.
I mean, you're going to be playing into this Pharah composition, and the Pharah is going to be shooting so much damage to your backline just like that. If you play too slow into Pharah compositions, a lot of the time, just the raw amount of spam damage that can come out can just overwhelm you at times. Already has that barrage. They do manage to trade out that for the life, though. The mech is gone, however, and there's just too much damage in this corner. You can't heal that all up if you are Keith. You can't expect that to happen. Safe Chicken can maybe get that kill in the end, but no, the Mercy Beam does come in, keep them alive, and they lose this fight, and it's kind of what happens in those Pharah compositions. If you're just too slow, random picks will happen.
Yeah, they kind of played it like they're playing like a double shield Orisa Sigma composition, rather than playing what they were, which is like this rush style. And so they just wanted to sit up on the high ground and wait for an engagement, but that's not what you can do against a Pharah composition. You have to press the go button and make chaos in the rest of the team. We already see they're not even really set up for the point B defense, and Burnz is already down.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be that tempo difference a lot of times. Oh, as I say that, though, not you just as the Pharah, but then you lose everyone else. And even as Wadette can get this kill onto Squall, I think they should still have that res, and there shouldn't be anything that can test them, especially with that Valkyrie going off. That res should come out, and it does come out, and they're just going to ignore that Mei off to the side. The cryo comes out, there's just no longer a threat. They're going to hunt down Chicken Nugget here and just take him out. And again, it's a really big tempo difference. You can see the Patrifornia Palms are doing a great job of just being the engagers, being the aggressors into a comp that doesn't have a lot of the defensive capabilities they need.
Absolutely. I mean, they just have like, since the beginning of the first fight, they just haven't really had. They've been on the back foot this entire time. They haven't really even gotten a good chance to stabilize, and they are just kind of trickling in. I don't even think they'll get a solid stabilization until after point 2 is capped. This is disastrous.
Yeah, this can be brutal.
I mean, this is going to be probably almost exactly 5 minutes, maybe 5 minutes 15 on the clock if they cannot make a solid defense right now. And they don't, 5 minutes 25. Just brutal time bank left. This is very similar to the situation they had when they were on it, where they were attacking. So they have to. This is going to be probably one of the best holds in Overwatch history just to make it happen here, especially since we've just seen just how much on the back that they have. But they do have 6 ultimates. That's kind of their one saving grace, so that they can use them just to stop the bleeding just for a second.
Yeah, I mean, a good job kind of stabilizing here. This is what you need. If you're getting those staggered fights, you have to force the bomb here, which is a bit unfortunate. But when you're having these staggered fights, just one fight to just reset and get all the tempo back to a neutral state. That's kind of just what you need here. And they did a good job of kind of peeling off the Pharah engages in a way, but there's just been so much damage even after that that it just hasn't quite mattered. But really nice job to put active use of that high noon, finds the Pharah. Now they're forced to retreat, but they use that Valkyrie, which could be an interesting choice. They are going to go aggressive. They don't have that wall, but a nice block there from Anarchy as she puts her shield up in time to get the Blom's damage mitigated. But right now, again, you lose Azzy Jazzy. They don't have their ice block to keep them alive, it would seem. And now you're back on the back foot. You're back into the situation you just escaped from.
Yeah, I mean, it's just completely brutal. Just like so unfortunate for Burnz and the Bees right now. But you have to make this one like final good defense right before they hit the opening right here, or else you have no shot to probably match the time bank and be able to complete the map. Nonetheless, win the map so you can continue on and try to win the match. This is nearly hopeless, honestly.
I mean, I wouldn't say nearly hopeless. I mean, we've seen worse holds, not worse holds. We've seen longer holds on worse points for defense here. This is actually quite a good point here. If you are Burnz and the Bees, it's going to be hard for that fair to get in. It's going to be hard for that fair to get in. Not if Keith Swag's out in the open right there. Don't know how that happens, but they do manage to clean that up. Can they deny the res? The fair's body's going to be in a really bad position for this Mercy. They can't walk in because the McCree's just going to look at them with that flashbang. And now, again, you stabilize. You lose Keith Swag, but then nice use of the ultimate buy with Det, and they manage to stabilize once again. As the fair's effectiveness, I think, here is going to be neutered in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, maybe you just toss the ultimate in and then swap it out for something else. I don't think the Far is doing a whole lot right now in the current composition. As he's swapping over to the Reaper, I don't know if I agree with that, considering the enemy composition. I'll be honest with you. I think the only person you're really going to be carrying up is Skybeam over there. And the rest of your team's kind of doing pretty good on that front already. Some supports get traded off. We see Shadow being traded off for Keith, and Chicken Nugget God tries to use the bomb, gets picked off for it, but tide starts to turn in favor of Burnz. Just three. I think they have to go back to spawn. They pick up Brow right before they get their remix, so they're down to 2 minutes. They actually have a shot here to defend the point.
Pretty sure Clockwise had this ultimate in the last 3 fights and just doesn't have a space to use it. And it's so hard for Fair to get in here. There's like 2 areas that they can walk in from. In both areas, they can just get completely shot down by this D.Va and this McCree. So you're gonna have to look for flanks, but when you just look for flank, it becomes so much harder to find the flank. As Anarchy finally she releases that shadow. She's been holding it for so long for the perfect moment to find the value, and that's 4 on the ground, and that's all you need. And Burnz here is gonna go low, but they cannot quite find the damage to get him to finish him off. And now Clockwise is gone. The Valkyrie's expended, and on the aggression now is Burnz and the Bees. They have that speed boost to push this Reaper forward, who's done actually a very good job of staying in very key locations to shut down this fair's impact. Not normally something that you would consider in a Reaper as a fair counter, but they've done a great job of shutting down those angles.
Absolutely. I mean, it's being kind of the thing that's keeping them alive.
What? but why? But why did you do it?
I don't know, but Clockwise does have to switch over from the Far to the Hanzo. They have to they're trying to just bash their heads against this brick wall of this point defense by having this composition swap, and I think I like it actually a lot, but I think it might be too little too late with 35 seconds left.
The beat does come out though. This will give them the time they need as the monkey is forced into that wall from Burnz with that beat. And I think, again, you said it was like hopeless or whatnot with 5 minutes, and again we saw the same exact thing happen to Burnz and the Bees earlier, where they had 5 minutes, and again Gerald apparently is farming.
I mean,
Gerald is farming. Gerald is farming, but as the group chat goes wild here, and I mean, you still have that shatter, and there's not a lot you can do to stop the shatter.
Yeah, I mean, they have to throw up a bubble and hope for the best, and that doesn't even work. And yeah, overtime is a burn-in, and you do not have the bodies really here on point ready to hold it. You have all your squishies left. They do get the res on the Skybeam though, and about to get the primal, so has a shot, but it's just going to be Skybeam left. It's Skybeam against the world, really.
But just that, I think, is what's needed. They do have the spawn advantage if they can live. The Reaper's alive. Okay, they find the Tracer. I thought they were death lossing nothing. They was the Tracer just there as the Wick almost burns down there, but now they're on top of the Mercy. One shot. Oh, that Anarchy would have found that snipe. And the pin, the damage from the pin, finds the kill onto Skybeam. And again, 5 minutes and 22 seconds were on that clock going into third. Now there's 0, and third point has not been captured. A very similar story as to what happened to Burnz and the Bees earlier today, and I think I like to see the reverse of that. Now it's time to see what they can do on attack.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen what they've done on attack, and it's basically exactly what they just did on defense. And it really is going to be, can they turn this, like how much momentum that California had, can they turn that on its head? Can they use the momentum that they had, just edge back as much as they could just to hold on to that little bit of distance before the end of point C, and can they use that to get to match that point? Can they do what they did last game by getting nearly 5 minutes on the time bank? And then can they complete the map with that? And that is, or at least complete it up as far as they have to, which is going to be critical. They want to come in here with this rush composition, but they started on the defense, which I like a lot more on the start here. You want to get in there, you want to be quick, you want to get your picks and stay on the point and keep it moving. California want to keep with this aerial kind of composition, clockwise on the echo, going to be really critical to try to stop, hold out. Just have use that to get the poke, the spam in before the rest of the team can kind of all group up and get in there with their rush.
We're gonna be seeing if clockwise can find. Oh no! A great flashbang there from Odette. Skybeam not respecting that stun and the damage that can follow. There goes your main tank, there follows your Mercy, as in that backline is Azzy Jazzy, and while they may lose their life, they've done enough damage as is. But going back into a nice pin onto the Tracer as well, and this fight should just be over. The Ana is even pressured out there. Anarchy, she almost finds the Fire Strike as well as they go up behind. I'm waiting for this. Oh no, the Ana moved. There's gonna be no flank pin there, but as I said, on the backside of the fight, really nice job from the from Patrifornia's tanks here, trying to get as much value as possible, but even that is not enough. They're being forced out of this point. It's gonna be hard to push in to this Reinhardt here. It's gonna be swinging into those chokes, and now they have to back off here. First fight, first point take because of an overstep there from Skybeam.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you wanted to have happen if you are Atlantic. You want to get in there. You want to you need to keep this momentum going and not get stuck on what you got stuck on in the past. You have to just keep moving forward, and that's happening. Anarchy, she just goes down just barely. Can't get back to the rest of the team, and this is kind of a very scrappy fight. 4v4 on the point, but respawn advantage goes in favor of Atlantic here.
Live, chicken, live. Okay, they live. They get their Mac back off, and they're gonna get enough as a little bit of aggression in that dive, and now Gerald just gonna be taking out clockwise there. So he's popping off on that Baptiste, and now I mean they're doing a really good job here pushing in the second point after a little bit of a mistake there from Patrifornia, who had the positioning advantage. They find a pick, they go super aggressive on the dive, and they lose everyone in the process.
Yeah, I mean it's just actually brutal. Azzy trying to find Shadow Cause, cannot do it, gets the pulse from eaten just, ooh, that's kind of unfortunate. Can't find that pick that would just send them a bit further. They have to wait for that respawn because you don't have that Mercy res, obviously, when Mercy gets picked. Just really critical. You see just a lot of positioning. Everyone's trying to collect around the point for Atlantic, and you just see the window come out and get everyone down that they need to. The bomb comes in, takes out Burnz, just a nice clean bomb kill. Can't get behind the shield, but ultimately the numbers advantage is just really key for Burnz and the Bees right now, and I think they will be able to get point B with just about 5 minutes left on the clock if they are lucky.
I mean, I don't know, because the problem is you lost a lot of picks here, and you don't rip the Shatter, please. You're 1v6, and they do not do it. Anarchy holds onto that Shadow as Burnz gets back there, and Burnz finds the kill there, but a little bit of a mistake.
It doesn't matter.
When the bomb comes out, you can't scramble like that. You have to kind of consolidate and use resources to keep everyone alive. And when you scramble, it's harder to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think kind of that scrambling also made it so that it allows California just to recollect everyone and use their respawn advantage to kind of come back in and win the fight. And that was kind of their downfall here. You see Chicken Nugget God having to come up and try to engage the point. Or not engage the point, engage the enemy team to try to be able to reach the point properly without just getting dominated on the high ground. Squall gets post-bombed by Azzy, which is a good start, but Azzy gets traded for it, and here comes a bit of a collapse from California.
Oh.
2 down. With their Mercy, they do not have their supports.
Yeah, and I mean, looking to take the second point here. The D.Va remake does come back in, and I don't know if we've done enough here to take this point. Wadette has only used that ultimate to take out the Pharah, and it's just so worth it, honestly. That ult's so hard to use anything else. When the Nano comes out, they're gonna have the Primal as well, but they have to try and kill this backline while that Primal is going to go off. And let's see if they can do it. 2.25 meters left to go, and they can almost see it as the Tracer does lose their life. It's going to be on Chicken Nugget here to try and deny this fair, but what's going to happen is with that Valkyrie, with that damage, with that healing, it's going to be basically impossible for the D.Va to do it alone. And again, another fight that looks so in Burnz' favor, but they just can't close it out.
Absolutely. I mean, the distance that you get is so good, but you have to be able to clean it up, and they just can't. They can't get that. Just can't get those small little boop, those 1 or 2 kills that are just enough to let the cart get clocked in, and you can get your extra time and keep everything moving. Unfortunately, they are now back to basically square one, with the cart rolling backwards and down a lot more time. Squall gets pulse bombed again. Oh, that's tragic. Oh, you can't let that happen.
But I mean, they get traded again, and Wadette doesn't have that ultimate to take out the fair, but it doesn't seem like they need it. Now they have the Shadow to clear off this point, and now you have to put that shield up, and just in time. Oh, but the damage comes out on the Anarchy. They're just so low. But the Shatter onto the tanks. The D.Va was demeching, so the D.Va actually doesn't get shattered. The Ana is back, looking for something. Wadette here, trying to zone off this point, and they do it. They manage to get it in time. The Tracer comes back to touch, but it's just too late. There's nothing there to touch. There's nothing there to stop. The point has already been captured. And now, 2 minutes. Not quite 5, but still plenty of time to get to this glowing checkmark box here. And
I mean, look at all these staggers. Look at all these staggers. It's brutal. And, I mean, they're going to get around the first corner, oh, maybe even the second corner, without even any sort of contest.
No
That's just how brutal this was.
Prage, no more clockwise fair, because that was doing a number here on Burnz and the Bees, and they don't have that anymore to worry about.
Absolutely, but they also don't have their res. Now they're on equal playing field in terms of reses, but Atlantic does get the immortality field. They do get they can survive a little bit longer. Immortality field is forced though with the pulse bomb going in, so that is that advantage gone. And
so does have that beat. Just completely mitigates the dive there from that nano to Winston, but still, Chicken Nugget does go a little bit too far forward there with no bomb available. Anarchy just holding that shield and pressing the S button, trying to get out. Everyone else is going down around them, and now pushing this next point. There's gonna be no ult available here for Patrifornia, but
I mean, yeah, but this, I mean, at this point, it's for Burnz. This is essentially your tournament fight. You get one good fight. That's it. Maybe you get a one straggler, but this is the one. No. And as he's already down, and that's not how you want to start this tournament fight. Elimination on the line. Deadeye coming out, trying to find a pick, can't click fast enough. And they're just trying to find a small little pick. Eli goes in, has to recall out. Anarchy getting slept. Just, the window has already expired, and you have still about 5 meters to go or so. And goes down, the pulse bomb getting Eli. Very nice pick, but Wadette trying to getting a pick on it. Sky, no main tanks for either team. This bomb has to be big.
This bomb is massive. This bomb is massive there. They could not escape it. The D.Va mech as well going down. Chicken Nugget said in the chat earlier that they are bad. I greatly disagree with that statement. I greatly disagree with that take. I think Chicken Nugget is quite a good player here, and he's showing it once again as we're pushing into this thing, and we tie it up 1-1. Atlantic won a map, boys.
All right.
I agree with what just said. Not in the same enthusiasm, but yeah, we won a map. Let's go.
Yeah, I think it's up to the 113 instead of the 112, but the map win is definitely a spirit raiser for Burnz the Bees, and absolutely it was a well fought map, just barely squeaking it out, but just a really good fight. And now they can win this match. Just one game on Escort is all that it takes. So it will be interesting to see if they can manage to try to squeeze out not just the map but the win.
Yeah, I said earlier that I'm happy with one map win, but why stop there? I believe in the reverse sweep here. They just needed that warm-up map on Ilias, but that Hollywood, it looked crazy. It looked really good.
Of course.
Before we keep talking about this game, we got a little update here from a B stream, which was running same way as us here. It looks like Canada and Midwest, Northern Grizzlies, and maize, they are also going to a map 3, so we're pretty much synced up with them. will be interesting to see. I'm kind of hoping for Midwest to maybe get another win there, but yeah, what do you guys think about this Hollywood map? I think Burnz and the Bees, they showed that they can definitely go toe-to-toe with these teams here.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's never clean, but it doesn't have to be clean. That's not what the tournament's all about. You can be as dirty as you want. You just have to squeeze it out in the end. And after how map 1 went and their defense on map 2 for the first 3 minutes of it or so, if you told me that was it for Atlantic and that was just their mental was gone, I'd believe you. There's not a lot of shouldn't be a lot in the tank, and they squeezed out that extra little bit of time. They held out for those 5 minutes. They ripped momentum straight from the hands of California. They made it so that they can take control, and now they have a lot of the momentum in their hands. They won the map on the back foot. It's not their map pick, but they have that shot to push forward and potentially make it their series. But it's going to be incredibly tough. Like, the one good thing for them is that they do not have now this mental weight of what just happened to us this last map, because they came back. They did it, and now it's going to be instead on the West Coast. It's going to be on California, who has to deal with that kind of stress and those kind of doubts going into this final map, which is Watch Point Gibraltar. Which I mean, you're going to see a lot of the echo, which we've seen a lot from California earlier, and obviously Eli Widow. Not what I really want to be going up against if it's my decision. But absolutely, I mean, it will be a very interesting back and forth. We have very similar compositions. The only major difference is what sniper each team wants to use, projectile or hit scan. But it is going to be same deal basically. As we see the attack getting started, they are rotating onto the high ground to try to match Burnz and the Bees, and we'll see how they can take this early position to try to win this early.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at this, you already have kind of the setup here on this high ground. Not a lot of teams like to play further than that point, as we see the dive coming out already, and that's not something you always want to see, as your monkey just gets instantly destroyed there. Nothing Skybeam can really do, and I think it's interesting to see that, again, we're back to that first round, basically, the tank composition here, with Chicken Nugget onto the monkey, and Mr. Chip onto that Diva here, whereas in the last time we had Anarchy, she was playing the Rhine, and Chicken Nugget was on that Diva. So again, a little bit of a swap up here between that off tank, main tank position. Not something you always love to see, but something this team obviously feels that they're comfortable with.
Absolutely. I mean, they've just really been giving up spaces. I think it's the biggest problem. They just held the SQ. They got straight through car wash, and now they're 3 meters to the end of point A with only a minute and 15 seconds to show for it for the defense. It's really brutal. And as you're already going down, there's no point presence at all, and this is going to be incredibly fast A take.
Yeah, and it's a little unfortunate here. You lose A pretty fast, and I say pretty fast when it was a minute 30, but that's just kind of how point A works. A little bit of an ambitious pulse bomb there from Eli, as Wadette finds those sticky bombs and takes them out. As yeah, you're gonna see here a little bit of that stagger coming out here now, but onto the second point. But you can oftentimes, I feel like, have really good, strong first holds on this map, and not getting that is quite unfortunate.
I mean, absolutely. We just they just take this early point on the ship, and they have an immense high ground hold on this, like for the rest of point B, excuse me. And just here comes a Mack truck just to smash into your lines, and this cart's gonna keep moving. But the D-Mac onto Brow Daddy is at least some solace for Atlantic, as they have to make a quick exit from this fight.
Echo will be losing their diva form for now, as Wadette will be chased down here potentially by Clockwise. Isn't. Chicken Nugget is just still in that backline, kind of buying a lot of time and space, which is exactly what you need. Now we have Skybeam going to be losing their life as well. The Pulse Bomb, no one walks into it, which is quite nice there, as we're going to be looking here if they can take out Clockwise. The Mercy used one shot. Oh, but the touch does not come out. The bomb, though, is massive from Mr. Chip. Takes out that support DPS duo that was stuck in that corner. And now it's time here, finally, Patrifornia Palms, after getting stalled out so long on that fight because of Chicken Nugget in that backline, they finally end up losing it. And not only did they lose the fight, they lost a lot of time while losing the fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's just a kind of a brutal loss there. And exactly what you wanted for Burnz and the Bees, just to be able to stabilize, get back to ship control, and just find that little advantage that you need to continue this map in a positive direction.
Yeah, and now they have this high ground to abuse here for Burnz and the Bees. Not a very fun point to attack, I must admit. Not quite so fun. You're walking into basically what is essentially like very, very choky points to push in through, and it can kind of be very hard to without those ultimates like you see there. Of course, the Nano going to be giving them the ability to go through those chokes and get the damage they need. But I wonder here, can Burnz and the Bees even get another touch? They don't really have the fastest characters, like Ball obviously would be faster, but they will have that Diva to touch along with the Hanzo Dragons to kind of keep them shrouded and away from a lot of that danger. And
absolutely, I mean, yeah. It's just a very slow battleable attrition that Ultimate Atlantic is kind of losing, but that's not what they have to do. They have to just hold out the point. Any clock time being burned is good. This bomb is going to take out Burnz. Just unfortunate, no space really to hide for it. But forcing another ultimate from the offense is always a good thing if you're the defense. You have 2 already gone, and also use the Valkyrie, so that's 3 in fact. But it's very slow battleable attrition, ultimately going to be won by California unless a miracle occurs at this point.
And not gonna really look like it's gonna happen. The sleep does come out on the Clockwise, and Clockwise just a melee away from going down. Exactly what happens. They just get punched up there by Swag, and again you get res on the point, but I don't know how much that's gonna do. The nade does come out, but the pulse bomb finds the Ana. It was attached to that monkey's butt, and they end up losing their life. I don't think this bomb can kill everyone. It kills 2, but it won't stop them from capping that point. And I like to see Azzy, not maybe on the Doofus, but I would love to see swapping over to that Tracer. You no longer in a Widow duel. You haven't been for a very long time, and the Hanzo just kind of been getting ran over.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I don't really understand the idea that that using that bomb, a really key resource to maybe stop the
Hopium bomb.
Yeah, it's not even just a Hopium bomb. Like, you weren't going to survive long enough for it to stop the whole cart. The cart itself is cover, so I think it's just really a please work kind of bomb, but not a one where I'm swapping hero, which is a little odd. We see the Echoes get traded. Supports are down for Burnz, and just for 1 support, 1 tank. They're gonna have to probably make a quick retreat. They have to wait for their respawns. But Chicken Nugget getting 2 pulse bombs to trade, but still that's not a good investment there. 2 for 1 is just a nice trade for Chicken, and they do stabilize on this cart. It's 90 seconds to go.
And I'm looking towards this Nano here. It's going to be going on to Skybeam or maybe Clockwise. It depends on what they kind of want to do. No, we'll be going on to Skybeam as I say it. And right now the counter engage is going to come out here. There's no need to keep that Ana alive. And if this Nano Monkey here for the side of Patrifornia can't find the value they need, this fight is just so... Oh, they even get the high immune to take him out. Yes, you do lose Chicken Nugget. Ooh, this could be actually the turning point. You have the US come out, and now the Echo copy to follow. Wadette died on 99%. They weren't able to get that second or maybe even third life if they do copy that D.Va, as Mr. Chip going forward to stop this point does have the bomb in the case they do go down. But again, you might just lose your life before it even has any bearing on it. I think it was just good. It stalled out, got out cooldowns, and now Wadette is back. Has that copy if they need. They probably don't. You have that res coming down onto the D.Va. They're gonna have that call mech ready and available. The boop will not stop it. And now Burnz loses their life, and now someone's been squished. The monkey, the McCree has been squished. Now the Tracer copy comes out. That's gonna be insanely fast pulse bombs. They already find one with it, and now Chicken Nugget trying their best to 1v1 Brow Daddy, but that's not a 1v1 you want to take as a Winston. It's very unfair for you, and he's just living so long in this backside, but I don't know. I don't know. They might just be able to push this in. No ults,
10
except step
seconds,
out.
but no ults. I mean, it's going to be just who wins this one try fight. 0.01 meters to go, but they cap. No one was touching. 2.3 seconds left.
Touch there.
Just very brutal. And now you have to complete this map if you want to even have a shot, and you have to make a hold. If you are Burnz and the Bees, I mean, it's escorts. You're going to make a hold regardless. But it still doesn't feel good that you have to do it in the first place.
Yeah, as we try to see. Interestingly,
right now of Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Yeah, that water crashing, not the most. Yeah, it's just kind of appearing in the middle.
Yeah,
in the middle of the air. But you know,
you ever hear geysers?
Yeah, but normally they have bottoms to them. Normally they don't just appear in the middle of the air. But I'm gonna be interested to see what swaps would come out here now. Wadette was on that Echo last round, and now we have Azzy on it. And interestingly enough, and on Hollywood we even saw Wadette on the McCree and Azzy on that Tracer, and I think that would have been far more successful. I just feel like swapping up these roles a lot of the time can just cause confusion. And I don't think that's what you want, especially in an elimination match.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's elimination map for both of these teams, and actually, California Palms are just much better coordinated right now for this last map.
Nice shot.
Very early pick onto Clockwise, just swapping to the sniper, getting the sniping out.
and a Goomba Stomp. Everyone just kind of, you lost it. It reeks a lot of what happened to Burnz and the Bees on the first point, actually. They just kind of very quick first fight.
It definitely was a first fight, like but I think the difference is Burnz and the Bees held S. They didn't really want to engage. This was Azzy Jazzy swaps the Widow, domes someone, and then like the rest of the team just collectively domes another and Goomba stomps a third. But now here comes some of the resistance. You have 2 picks. And there's more coming in. You have to get out of here now if you are Burnz and the Bees.
Yeah, a good retake there. Very quick picks, and I think now is the time where Azzy might have to look towards that Tracer. I know I say that a lot, but that's because, in my belief, Tracer.
I mean, now
one
you
of the
have
strongest heroes in the game.
Yes, but you have a sniper duel now, and that I think is worth keeping the Widow. You do not want to have the one-sided Widow, particularly on Gibraltar Point A defense. Of all maps, that's not the map you want, especially when you have this have the vision, the walls, and you can see where Eli's setting up. That's going to be really critical to try to get the small advantage and get in there. Bubble protecting from those sticky bombs, but still no progress on getting the cart out of this car wash. Just really brutal. Azzy going down, Eli has free reign. Trading for Clockwise though, getting the res out. So the reses are up. Eli gets killed, and now I mean you have this very slight advantage for Burnz and the Bees. You have to take advantage of it. Chicken Nugget got going down. Trading out for this for the supports, no Echo either, and it's a mess on the point. And it's about 3v2, but no tanks for Burnz and the Bees.
I mean, it's just really hard for Azzy to get set up in any position when the Echo can just kind of jump on you. Right now, you're gonna have this bubble here. Don't walk into it, Chicken. I even said it. I said don't walk into it. I knew he would do it.
The res has to come out. Oh, that was tragic.
I said don't walk into it, Chicken. Why'd you do it? I can see it in his eyes. I can see it in his Winston eyes. I can see him. He's like, I'm safe. No, you aren't. You walk out the bubble, but as I'm saying, the res has to come out. And now on this point, you have a lot of damage going on this backline. Redeeming himself, Chicken finds his opposite here. The Widow's gonna get jumped on very shortly here, as the point is captured. So even with that little bit of a misstep, a little bit of a low light reel there, Chicken Nugget does manage to find that nano, find the damage onto the backside, and he does quite a bit of work there. And now even the Widow gonna get staggered out here. You can't jump further.
Yeah, I mean, this is ideal right now for Burnz the Beast. If you get this early ship control, at least it's contested, so you have a shot to get it, just because of how the staggers went. Chicken Nugget, low health, gets taken out. I don't know if they have the res for that. I don't think they do. They do have the res for that. I didn't know the timing on it. But I mean, they are barely hanging on this control here. They are probably gonna have to give it up and just try to go under or recontest it later.
I mean, High Noon comes out, finds the Ana. I mean, Wadet has been so good at finding these High Noon picks. The bomb on the high gun does find Azzy Jazzy, but that shouldn't be the end of the world. Tracer could get back pretty fast in this fight, and you are getting other picks. Skybeam lost their life. The mech is gone here, though, for Mr. Chip. You're going to be seeing if they can get that back fast enough. Eli is 1 HP, managed to find that health pack, but still, 75 HP and recontesting on this point is not something you want to do as that Tracer. Has the recall, you're not going to get much health back, though, and now on this fight, you take out Wadet. The Echo Dive does come in. Mr. Chip finds his opposite there while demeched, and now going to be a pulse bomb on this point. It does find Eli there. Azzy Jazzy was the receptionist of that nano, but now 4 people on this point. One of them is an Echo Winston, and you are not going to find these picks here. You're not going to kill them. You're just not going to be able to. You got to kind of reset here. You try to get out.
Absolutely. I mean, you're trying to get the ultimate charge, but not trying to completely feed. And the good thing about Clockwise doing all that damage is that ultimate charge gets wasted away now that you don't have it anymore. So that is one advantage here. I mean, I think another advantage is that you have Wadet at nearly a Deadeye, and he's been really good at just knowing how to just get in there, get the pick, and split. Just don't.
Clockwise almost dies to them. The bombs are placed on the Diva, and Clockwise almost finds the death because of it. As Mr. Chip finds that Mercy, the res is gone, the healing is gone, a lot of that peel is gone. Wadet finds Skybeam even within that bubble, and now the res is going to come out as well. You've got this point here if you're Burnz this Beast. There's no way you can mess this up. And 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. They're even going to be looking at other staggers. Squall just going to be rushing over to try and kill, not get staggers out there.
Yeah, I mean, you have to just kind of say, all right, I'm either going to die and give ult charge, or I'm going to die and not give ult charge. So see you later. And that's what Squall has to do. I mean, this is very similar to the attack that Patrifornia had. About 2 minutes left on the clock or so. Coming up on this last turn going into point C. But they have to complete the map, and ideally with more time left so that they can just have even a slight advantage. Azzy getting picked off. Just an unfortunate loss so early. You either have to res that or just wait for the respawn, and it looks like they're waiting for the respawn. They do get the res. They do have the res out just barely.
But I mean, this copy is going to be massive here for Clockwise. Did you manage to copy? Oh, Burnz gets stuck on the door frame. That you just can't. But Mr. Chip, what are these massive bombs and clutch moments for Atlantic? But now you're going to be losing your honor here. Gerald does go down, and now it's going to be Clockwise in the backline by himself. Going to be getting burned down here as the copy does come out onto the Tracer here.
Again, just getting the one pick on the squishy. One pick on the squishy, gets out and go.
But look at Wadet's HP. He can't stay in this fight for much longer. He has to wait for that healing, and the healing he does find. Azzy, another pulse bomb, and like 2 pulse bombs in like half a second. That's gonna be the power of Echo there. But you lose your life in the end. The Goomba stop does come out though for Chicken. He doesn't have that shield just yet. He can't live long enough. This is just a scrappy, all-out fight here, and it's gonna come down to this Diva on the point. That's gonna be your anchor. Keep them alive. Eli gets stunned up, but I don't know if there just wasn't enough ammo in the magazine. But they look like they will be finishing out this point, hopefully, as Maybe they can find the stall out. You don't have any ults here available for Patagonia except for that nano, but you still have a long ways to go if you're running out. Squalls, they don't even get the speed boost here, and I don't even know if they're gonna have time to farm it up. They 96 to it. Who do you put it on? Maybe you put it on this Tracer. Eli finds the one clip you need. Squall back in that grave, but now you have so many ults here. Look at these ults for Burnz and the bees.
This post goes in, gets the stick.
I'm having conniptions. I'm having conniptions right now. Okay, we figured it out. 11 seconds more here available for Burnz.
Yeah, finished at 13 seconds or so. Patagonia had about 2 seconds. So they finished with an additional 9 seconds, or 11 seconds over. That is the difference. And they're brought up to 1 minute. And now, I mean, if you're Burnz and the Bees, you can't hold S. If you're Patagonia, you can't get domed like you did in your last attacks and defenses. This is do or die in these last couple rounds of this map and of this series. Loser goes home. So this is exactly what we want to see. A very tight, very interesting game. I'm excited to see it.
We joked about this in the beginning about like a biased cast, perhaps. We have me and Jimmy, both of us are Atlantic A team members, and well, we could not get anything done. Not a map win to our name, and not a match win to our name. We did speed run the A League elimination, so that was fun. But I really do believe that everyone here on this B League team, even on the A League team, they put in a lot. They put in a lot here to try and get this ready for this tournament in a very rushed manner, and I think the Burnz and the Bees have been popping off in a lot of ways. And oh no, Eli's pulling an Azzy Jazzy cosplay, and that's not something you like to hear if you're Burnz and the Bees, because Azzy Jazzy pulled up some amazing plays, and if someone's doing a cosplay of that, that's not very nice. If the monkey does jump in here, could be losing their life. That's kind of a repeat of that first round we saw, where again, Skybeam jumps in, gets instantly destroyed, but then the re-engage comes in from Patagonia, and they manage to find some picks.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just really unfortunate to get that pick. Now you have a lot of time. The card is already through the first part of the car wash of that archway. But ultimately, it's the second part that's so brutal. But again, they're just Burnz the Bee just keep like holding this S key, and just the cart is getting so much progress. Now it's finally getting stopped, but Gerald goes down, trades off for Shadow Cause, so you do have the Mercy Gun, is really a better pick. With Burnz falls, no supports, literally none.
None on the field here. Now you lose even
and overtime. This is going to be do or die fight with no supports.
The Tracer's one. Pulse bomb
also tanks. It's going to be it's just Wadette. Like it's Wadette, and now Gerald's here, gone now because no sustain with that. Just a Lucio, and I think this will be a point cap. I think they will get point A.
Point cap doesn't matter, so...
I mean, it does help with the respawns being poor, but, which allows for more distance, but it ultimately is just... You're right, it doesn't give you any time. Azzy falling, just staggering them more and more, just getting a little bit more time every single time something like this happens. It's so brutal for this to occur. You just have to... can't let it happen, really. Halfway through point B, and it's still, like, just looks to be just a nice momentum roll for Patagonia. But they don't touch it! They don't turn! Oh my God!
What was that?
Jimmy in from the void to comment on that.
Do we replay? I need to see it.
They just don't touch. So some copium moments here for Atlantic. They don't touch. You have plenty of time here to get to that second phase. I believe copium. Azzy Jazzy roll out on that on that Widow.
I mean,
tough to say the least. Tough to say the least. And the final map of an elimination match, pretty tough.
I mean that
that's a bad that sucks.
Mentally, that's California, you are playing to your death. You cannot let yourself exit tournament like that. That's the reason. Like, you had that fight won. You were gonna roll the point probably into point C, and have a decent shot at completing the map, and you can't get that. You have to settle for whatever that was, just terrible.
It's still second point. I mean, it's still second
It's
point.
still second
First point is
Absolutely,
holdable.
it's some distance.
First point is holdable.
Don't get me wrong, great distance. But if you manage to lose the map and they get that distance, if they can manage this 71 seconds or so, you'll be kicking yourself for the next 5 billion years.
A little bit of poke coming out on this bridge to start off the round. We're gonna see when this engage is gonna come in here from Chicken Nugget, if he is able to survive long enough. Again, with that will be on that McCree signature. We've seen so much value come out of those high noons, and he's built himself fast. You're so low, you can't take that kind of angles. You gotta be a little bit more careful there into the more pokey echo there. And now you have your team split off. Burnz is going for the most insane res I think we could have seen there, as Clockwise managing to find that headshot. But the point is past car wash. So if you reset now, which I don't think is going to happen, you have a big chance here. Chicken Nugget is going to be losing his life, but so
you trade off your main tanks. There's still a decent shot for this point to at least. The fight's definitely it's taking a quick pause, but I don't think it's over just because of how the point has been really paced. But you have 10 seconds. You have to touch this point. You have to make it count. If you don't, you're done. You go home.
This is for elimination. No ults available. Both echoes are down. Burnz loses his life as well. What? That is dead. You have pushing the point, but I don't know if that matters. You take out the honor, but you've lost your own. You don't have ults. This is the final fight of the tournament, basically, and you're losing it if you're Burnz in the bees. Oh, God.
Tragic.
My copium.
That's it.
My copium is spilling everywhere.
Well, this is today.
Oxinator living up to his name in chat. I don't see that.
Brutal. I mean, just really unfortunate for Burnz and the Bees. You had you had a really rough map 1, and then you make a great comeback on map 2. You make a great comeback on your attack of map after your poor defense on map 3. You make a great comeback on on your attack, and just it collapses in that final in those final rounds. It's just really unfortunate as they will exit the tournament. But they did get a map, so we can at least give them that kind of credit.
It was so close. We had. Patrifornia, they look really good, they look really coordinated, and they're gonna take the win here and move on. But, Burst, I agree with what you said earlier. Burnz and the Bees, you guys shouldn't be too hard on yourself. You really showed what you're capable of. You had 2 really close games here. That one was just crazy right now. And, it's just the nature of these things. There's gotta be a winner, there's gotta be a loser, so unfortunately we're gonna have to say goodbye to this team. They're going to be the first team eliminated here, but they did what we couldn't do. They won a map, so I'm going to say it. I'm going to go out here and say it. They are the better
Atlantic team. Good job.
Yeah, why do you think they call it B League? Better League. It's simple.
True. Better league indeed.
It's a crazy game.
Yeah, I think.
We do have Cali players waiting for that interview potentially. They will be coming in very shortly to get an interview on that win pretty shortly here. But in the meantime, again, not to understate it, Burnz and the Bees, you played your heart out. You played great at many points. And unfortunately, like Jimmy said, there has to be a loser. And Patrifornia also had great moments, and just more great moments at better key specific points allowed them to take out this win today. But again, I think the growth and progress they've made as a team coming in, it was very hectic forming these teams for both A-League and B-League Atlantic, and the fact that they were managing to put together a team at all is actually incredible for B-League, because it was very last minute, and to come out and play like this. And even I want to shout out my boy Burnz. He gets a lot of crap sometimes, a lot of memeing.
He played awesome, honestly.
He played great. Yeah, really when I was trialing with him for the first time, I was new and I didn't know anyone, and Burnz was like, yeah, I'm a big one trick, and he played very well on Mercy and Lucio, and big shout outs to him, the titular character here Boy, Burnz and the Bees played amazingly and showed a lot of improvement in my eyes. So,
You're gonna get your win soon, Burnz, I believe.
Burnz will win
All of
eventually.
these players, you guys should sign up again for Season 3 or whatever event comes next. You guys definitely have a chance of winning. You guys showed your potential here, and I think we can look forward to see what they have in store. It does look like we have a couple Cali players coming in. I do see Eli Squall, or we have like half their team coming in now. We have Eli Squall, Skybeam, and Brow Daddy. How are you guys feeling after that game?
I haven't consumed caffeine and I'm shaking.
I believe.
I've had nothing but cold brew today and I'm shaking.
Yeah, so
we're,
I'm
we're very hyped.
So I do kind of want to ask the same question that I asked Maize earlier, because it's kind of the same circumstance. You guys have just, because like last week we had West Coast Cataclysm, who was the California A team. They couldn't win a map or they couldn't win a game. So now you guys have won the first game for your region. How does it feel for you?
Oh man, I feel so bad for my A-League team. We had the worst luck streak ever, and I wanted nothing more than to run it back in B-League for them because they all worked so hard and they deserve it. But we're also doing it for our team here because we've all worked hard and I'm excited. I think I'm just excited to be playing. I'm excited to not be out first round.
Yeah, sure. It was close for sure. So with that win, you guys are gonna go up against El Paso, which is the Texas team. They looked really strong earlier, I have to say. So, just asking you guys, did you prepare for this team at all, or do you guys think you get a chance of maybe going on a little run here through this lower bracket?
I mean, I at least plan on doing the shock run. I want to keep going all the way. I would like to win this thing again. I want another tag for another tourney win. That would be very cool, and I'm sure the rest of California agrees with me.
Yeah,
we gotta do it, bro, man. He's gotta keep the streak.
We must win.
We must win.
I do want to get kind of your feelings there, both going into that third map and then after that C9 there in the last round on you guys' attack. Like, what were you kind of thinking going into that, like the final rounds, basically?
We hold them first.
Twice on Ilios, so
yeah, that is a good point.
It makes up for it.
We hold them first. The thought process was just they don't make it past here. It's not happening.
And they didn't, so
they didn't.
That's all it was.
Yo, point A is hard enough to break open. We already got past that and then some. So you know what? That's an easy dub. You take those any day.
We also don't see 9 twice.
You heard it here. They won't see 9 again. They won't see 9 again. So
okay, wait.
Yeah, bro.
Heck, wait.
Yeah, bro.
I got
don't see 9
bombed and primaled off. I would not.
Fucking Primor.
Okay.
That's a little tough. But it was a good play. I'm not gonna badmouth Burnz and Bees. That was a heck of a play. That was a heck of a match. They played out of their minds.
Awesome. Okay, well, Salsa, Worst, you guys have any more questions?
No, none from me.
Okay.
the Callies deserve a rest here after that banger.
Yeah,
of
they
a
deserve
match.
a rest, like, for sure.
You guys get some water.
I want to.
You guys got water? You guys got
I want to say
water?
one more thing.
Yes.
I want to say one thing. Shout out to Anarchy. She just hard pinned me whenever I prime mode. I hate it. Whenever that team, I hate them, but for a good reason. They always pinned my primals or dropped to the noon, and I hated it every single time. But they did well. I respect that, but I hate them for it.
Awesome.
Heard it here first. They hate them.
I hate them.
Yeah. Well, congratulations your win, and good luck to you for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
Thank you.
With that, we're going
Thanks
to say
for
goodbye
casting.
to the Cali players here. Thank you guys for coming. Good luck in your match tomorrow. And well, with that, I think we're going to take another look here at our bracket. I think it was up here for a while. We did have a bunch of matches here. We had 3 matches over on the B stream. I know I was keeping you guys updated over on the Canada versus Midwest game earlier. That one ended in a 2-1 for Canada, so they are going to move on to the upper keep moving on in the upper bracket, while Midwest, they get another chance tomorrow in the lower bracket. We also had Crazy Capybaras, which I also love that branding. They lost 0-2 to Sunrise, which is the EU aka UK team or /UK team. And the first match, I mean, of course, it was Patagonia versus Northeast Nordic team. They lost 0-2 to that. So our semifinals tomorrow, which we're gonna have, is gonna be what's it gonna be? It's gonna be Nordic Northeast versus the Savannah Soyboys and Canada versus EU. And in the lower bracket tomorrow, we're gonna have Patagonia Palms versus El Paso Edators and maize versus Crazy Capybaras. All really exciting matches. I'm gonna be honest. Is there any match you guys are looking forward to especially?
I'm really excited for the EU Canada match. I think it'll be a real banger match there. And obviously, any elimination match is going to be good because it pushes the teams just to their limit of, do you want to stay in this tournament? So it's always nice to see that. I think it's going to be a really good day tomorrow.
Yeah, should be great Overwatch tomorrow. So please do tune in for that. It'll be very interesting to see who takes the dubs and who ends up going home if you are in that lower bracket.
Yeah, we are gonna have 2 streams again, per usual. Same starting time, 6 p.m. So don't miss it. We're gonna have an A stream and a B stream with both the games that we already have scheduled. Plus, we're gonna have some winners versus loser matches. So depending on how it goes, we're gonna see some teams maybe 2 times or not. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for us here for now. I want to thank everyone for being here, production staff, observers, lobby admins, you guys for casting, also New Age and I forgot their name. I'm sorry. Our casters earlier. I'm sorry, but H's and Ubreed. Sorry, that was the names. Yeah. I want to thank everyone for being here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. Thanks for the big raid from John OW earlier from the companion cast. That was really cool. That was awesome.
Yep,
hope you guys
John.
enjoyed some B League action here.
John.
That was some crazy Overwatch. I gotta be honest. Like all these games we saw on the A League stream here today were really close. So I hope it keeps going tomorrow like this. And yeah, with that, my name's Jimmy. I'm gonna say thanks for watching. Have a good night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye bye.
Welcome to the BPL World Cup.
Oh my god, it's a fire game impersonator with a pulse bomb!
But Sage is hot mustard, and all of a sudden this is anybody's fight. Drift tippers are still in it. Massive pulse bomb from Sage! What is that? Sage clutching it up.
Lennox holding on to the barrage, gets 3, Sunny from behind with 3 with a huge barrage, taking a crazy off angle once again. There's a lot of ults, there's a lot of colors, but it doesn't matter because it's just going to be a massive high noon from Yancha.
But Signet hits another massive shatter. Oh my lord. He's so good. He's just so good.
A pretty big flux. The trance is there to keep the team alive. Oh, the bombs.
Oh my god!
Wings, they got some wind in their sails as well. They got grab coming in, will land perfectly, and the windows fly through in terms of damage.
That's a 4K in that. Nitro have absolutely insane. Pomku with the 6K.
Maybe it's not marriage. Maybe it's love. Well, whatever it is, play it as it makes you. I've got a feeling love don't have to be the way you say it is. Well, it's gotta be that way with me. Cause I don't need not one man. Not that a hunch I'm never gonna fail no other time.